Hello, everyone. I'm Mike Boyle, episode 165 of the Squaws Roundtable podcast. We had some technical difficulties at the beginning, so please bear with us. We just discussed, we started in our intros, missed that, got deleted, sorry. So we jumped right into our first topic of discussion, was the Rolling Stone top 500 songs of all time. So we dove right into that. So that's where we go. We start right into that conversation with this. So thanks for listening.
For the most part, I recognize most of the songs. I really do. I mean, like, okay, so 20 is Robin, Dance on My Own. 19 is Imagine by John Lennon.
Now Imagine, to me, at 19, I'd be closer to 15, maybe even closer to, maybe closer to not in the top 10, but definitely a little higher.
18 is Purple Rain.
Okay.
17 is Bohemian Rhapsody.
Okay.
16 is Crazy in Love, Beyonce and Jay-Z. That song needs to be up about that high. It really does.
No, it needs to be up.
15 is the Beatles, I Want to Hold Your Hand. 14 is the Kinks' Waterloo Sunset. 13 is Gimme Shelter by the Stones. 12 is Superstition by Stevie Wonder. 11 is the Beach Boys' God Only Knows. And then we've already talked about the top 10. What's interesting is to look at the differences between the last time they did this 17 years ago.
You know what we should do? We should do is maybe you could split the list, get one from 17 years ago, and then do today's, and then make the comparison. And
that would require work. I don't want.
Yeah, that would require more work.
I don't want to do that.
It's an idea. That was all that was, guys.
I don't even know how to find that list from 17 years ago. I don't know if they put a link to it somewhere on that article.
Well, so here's the interesting part. When I go to Wikipedia, they do have the list. They do have what the previous list was of the top 10 from what would be 20. They claim 2004, 2010.
Okay.
So just to give you a perspective on how different it is.
Okay.
10 was Ray Charles. What do I say?
Okay.
9 was Nirvana. Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Okay.
8 was the Beatles, Hey Jude.
All right.
7 was Johnny B. Good by Chuck Berry.
Okay.
6 was Good Vibrations by the Beach Boys.
Okay.
5 was Respect by Aretha Franklin.
Okay.
Marvin Gaye, What's Going On at 4. Imagine was at 3. Satisfaction by the Stones was at 2, and Like a Rolling Stone, Bob Dylan at number 1.
Okay. Now we looked at it from that perspective. Now let's go ahead, fast forward. And
what's interesting is how many of those songs totally dropped out of even especially considering we just talked about the top 20.
Right.
Think about how many of those songs dropped out of even the top 20.
Right, exactly.
And here's the crazy part.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the crazy part to me.
Yeah.
Think about this.
What's that?
Nowhere in the top 20 are the following artists: Michael Jackson,
Right.
Madonna,
Right.
Britney Spears.
Right.
No, Michael Jackson is 44.
Right, but not even in the top 20.
Nope.
Michael Jackson, not even in the top 20.
No Elvis?
No Elvis. There you go.
Elvis in the top fucking 50.
Wow.
What? He's not even in the top 50. Elvis?
Nope.
No Elvis in the top 50.
Nope.
I didn't check to see. Is Run DMC anywhere in the top 50?
I don't remember seeing it. I scrolled
I don't
through.
think. I bet not. I bet NWA's not in the top 50.
No. Okay, let's see what.
Several Beatles tunes are in the top 40.
Yeah.
How about Eminem?
Right. That was going to go there next.
No, didn't see Eminem.
Yeah. No, like I said, to me, it's interesting to me what's not in the top 20. And, like...
No Johnny Cash?
Yeah, no, that's a good one. That's a good point, too. No Johnny Cash. Although Johnny Cash wasn't there at all. But it's interesting to hear...
Rock Around the Clock by
Bill Haley and the Comets?
Yeah, nope. Not in the top 50.
See, this concerns me.
Well, again, I don't know what their criteria on some of this is, too. I mean, let's be...
Are we going on...
These are just lists compiled by Rolling Stone employees, so...
so who knows?
Yeah.
Are we going by sales? Are we going by...
I don't know. I'd have to go look at their actual...
What metric this list was
compiled what they used, who they...
Stick for this.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have an answer for this. Whereas we would know, with Billboard, we would know the answer to this question. Billboard would be totally based on Billboard sales.
That's because they're going on the SoundScan system, of sales, and then, Billboard is kind of like a be-all as far as charting for the last God knows how many decades.
Right, but it is interesting because things have changed so much that it really is skewed to modern artists.
Heavily.
Well, yeah. Of course,
heavily.
Of course, you got a lot of those modern artists that, don't take conventional ways to get their music out there now. Because you got to consider the fact that music years ago run by the big labels against music today, which many of them are independently funded, independently released, independently created. And do these people cross the arena of sales? Not many. Not many.
Well, again, the one thing I'll say about the update is for the top 10 is at least it's not the previous versions where the previous version, I swear I looked at it and I was like, there's one song from 1980 on. Now at least we could sit there and go, okay, there's some songs from the 90s. There's at least one song. What's amazing to me is the one song that made the top 10 from the 80s is Fight the Power.
Okay.
That and what's crazy is of the 80s artists that were hot, the only one in major icon names that is in the top 20 is Prince.
Yeah.
He's got two of them.
In the top 20?
Purple Rain and When Doves Cry. I think When Doves Cry is like in the 30s.
Okay.
Ivan, I need you to turn the background music off, please.
Yeah, you're cutting in and out, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm right here. I haven't said anything.
I know.
No, because
the gate comes up and then the music plays. Sorry, Dan.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, like I said, I guess kind of wanted to bring this up because it's interesting to see kind of what we do know is Rolling Stone's fucked in the head, and
yes.
their website is shit.
Yeah, I think we can all agree on that. Rolling Stone, you're so silly.
It's really amazing for a magazine that has the cachet and the nostalgia to have that shitty of a website.
That's because that to me is because Rolling Stone in of itself is not the magazine. Okay,
I agree.
And in order for it to keep afloat, you notice that there are more really non-musical things that are through the magazine's pages now. When you peruse through those magazines, you're sitting, what the fuck does this got to do with music? What the fuck does this got to do with anything? I mean, who gives a shit about what they're wearing or whatever the fuck?
They kind of went pop culture, didn't they? They kind of tried to be culture.
And hugely pop culture. And that is why, the relevance of the listings and the relevance of the actual in of itself is just almost to the point of meaninglessness, because Rolling Stones, in its initial sensibility, when they put Rolling Stone together in the first place, it was like, fuck the corporate and fuck this and fuck that.
Yeah, it was anti-establishment.
Yeah,
The counterculture.
Right. So now it's like, so they, in order to keep the money rolling, to keep the pages printing and everything like that. Oh, yeah, and of course, not to mention the advertising is buku crazy in there now. It's like every couple of pages you got a page ad for something stupid. Like
paper ads.
Wow.
Do that too. I mean, there's an when you scroll down this list, there's an ad in between each number on the list. So advertising pays the bills.
Yeah. I still remember when. I don't know if you guys are aware of this. The 85 Bears were on the cover of Rolling Stone.
Weird.
Well, again, see, this is what I'm talking to you.
Although then again, in fairness, they did have the Super Bowl Shuffle out.
Shuffle. They did have the Super Bowl Shuffle. Was a record that year. Okay, give it to them. And as far as the 85 Bears, okay, but it seems like after the 70s and into the 80s, it became more and more of a pop culture zine than an actual music zine. And as time seems to go on, it seems to be...
You can blame MTV for that, I think. That's part of the change, part of the evolution.
Well, yeah, no, you know what? You're right, because the 80s, the face of music in the 80s, so many different directions. And the way we see music, the way we interpret music, the way we take the music in and have it become part of our own sensibility, I mean, yeah. But then you look at it now, where 85%, okay, and according to AA, okay, the record street charts and everything like that, do you know that 85% of the music consumed today is through streaming? 85%.
That doesn't shock me.
No, not at all.
80% is through streaming. 10% is through physical, actual means.
That's the other 5%. It's like brain injection.
Osmosis.
What an album.
I mean, look, let's be honest. If I'm looking for a song, I'm YouTubing it. Or I'm throwing on Pandora, or I'm throwing on Spotify,
Or if it's $1.25 in the iTunes store, then I'll if I like it, I'll purchase it.
I can't remember the last time I bought anything I bought music. I really can't.
You filthy pirate, you. Yarr. Last week was Talk Like a Pirate Day.
Arr.
Not when you're downloading me music there, Matty.
I'm not talking about downloading music. I just basically play whatever. It's like, usually my mix is good enough. I'm good. I don't need to.
But you don't have like a library or whatever, a category.
No. I mean, honestly, it's
if you like a song, you're just going to play it and like, okay, cool.
Well, no, it's. I hate to say it, my library is YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
YouTube's got everything.
Well, and there's nothing to hate, and we don't hate YouTube.
Oh no,
it made it easy, and here you go, push button, or just yell at the phone. Hey, I want to hear this. YouTube, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Remember those days where you had to wait with a cassette player and hold it up to the radio when your favorite song came on?
Oh God, yeah.
Then you have to make sure you stopped and started everything fast up.
And hoping the DJ doesn't talk over the intro or the outro.
Yeah, which didn't happen which happened a lot. But that was why they did it, because that was their way of try to spoil whatever it is you were trying to record, because they knew people were recording it. I mean, that sensibility has been done since recording began.
Nah.
So okay, so 500 Rolling Stone, yeah.
Well, like I said, I thought it'd be something because, sometimes we talk about music on the show, so I figured, it's something at least to talk about for once, because
It's interesting that this list has certainly modernized over the years. It's certainly changed from the Rolling Stones perspective.
Yeah, but do we give this list any real relevance? I mean, do people really give this list any real?
No,
relevance?
I'm just going to read the list and shrug and get on with my day.
I don't know. I mean, that's the real question. Is it depends on how much credibility you think Rolling Stone still has.
And for me, Rolling Stone is basically now just a footnote for me. I mean, I don't even bother.
Right, but I would say for the general public, it's still a credible. It's still somewhat credible.
Yeah, but credible to who though?
Like I said, I'm talking about people who aren't like you, Ivan. I'm talking about general public of, hey, where it's like people listen to music, but they don't take it to the depths of where you're at.
Yeah.
Where
Okay, but then you also got people out there. Let's get away from Jive and Ivan for a moment. Let's just be John Q. Public for a few seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And if I had my choice to go into a store, and if I had my choice between Rolling Stone, Mojo, Blues Express, and the other half of...
Okay, you need to stop right there, because you just said, two... Mike, have you ever heard of either of those two?
Heard of Blues Express, but not Mojo.
Okay, I'll tell you. I'll be honest.
From the Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah, Mojo Jojo. That's how I would know. Yeah, I'm the Powerpuff Girls. There we go. Otherwise, I don't recognize either one of them.
Well, yeah, the name of the magazine is well established. It's just like People Magazine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And where do people read People Magazine? In the bathroom.
Not everybody.
Or in the waiting room of your favorite orthodontist.
Right, or you're on the plane, or you get the,
No, when you got no toilet paper, you wipe your ass,
No, magazine paper is different consistency. That's going to clog your toilet, bro.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Oh, no! That article about Lady Gaga is backing up on me.
La, 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 la.
My poker face, where's my plunger face?
Yeah. That's a bad romance right there, I'll tell you.
It is a shitty intro to go after.
But yeah, no, I think I get where you're coming from, Ivan, but I think that you
Republic, if I had my choice between Rolling Stone and maybe a couple of the other magazines, I wouldn't exactly gravitate to Rolling Stone. But that's me.
That's Jive and Ivan, not John Q. Public.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. That's Jive and Ivan. John Q. Public, okay, if I was John Q. Public, yeah, I might be more inclined to want to see what's happening in Rolling Stone. I might pick it up and roll through the pages and just look at it and everything like that. But here we go. Okay, as John Q. Public, if I was to go into some of the other magazine with more music and meat on its bones and something a little less, I don't know, biased, maybe that's the word I'm looking for. And a little bit more.
You're assuming the mainstream's going and looking for that.
Well, I'm not assuming. I'm just remarking just that point. And and like it says, and then of course, as far as magazine, most magazines, so do people actually go out and still pick up, the Rolling Stone magazine in its form? Or do they just read
I don't, Ivan, I can't answer that one, but I think the best analogy I can give for you to understand things is when you sit there and, when Mike and I are talking about certain things about Marvel or Star Wars and stuff like that, and you're like, well, I really don't pay that much of attention to it, and I just dabble on these things unlike you guys. Same idea with music.
Yeah, the casual,
Okay, all right. So in that respect, yeah, I don't think I would. I don't think I would gravitate as much to Rolling Stones, although I'm sure that a lot of people would still gravitate to it. But I don't think they gravitate to Rolling Stone today as much as they did decades ago.
It's still a brand name, dude. It's still a huge brand name. And
it's still on newsstands. A lot of other music.
Right.
Is Spin Magazine still a thing? Is Spin still around?
I don't know.
I used to buy Spin back in the 90s.
I don't know.
Spin was a great magazine.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you know, it got eaten by corporate America and spat
Well,
out.
dude, everything's been eaten by corporate America on some level.
And the internet.
Yeah, you know, you're
And others, though, you know.
You know, I mean, I think when you're talking about this, I mean, you know, look, let's put it where it is. I mean,
Spin Magazine is still a thing. Yeah.
You know, I mean, look at where the music industry is today in terms of what works and what doesn't, and how this all goes. And yeah, there's the ability to break without the music machine, but the truth is that there's still some of that other stuff. I mean, I don't know. I was here on Clubhouse over the weekend, and I know neither one of you guys know anything about this, but apparently there's a woman named Karen Civil who has broke or worked with some big artists who were, you know, like the Nipsey Russells and what in the world. And there was some issues in terms of things that she promised or didn't promise, and people paying out her money and stuff like that. I mean, those rooms had like 10,000, there were like overflow rooms on kind of this stuff. So the reason I bring it up is because, you know, the music industry is all over the place these days. And especially considering the fact that it depends on what's considered hot, what genres are considered credible versus not credible these days, or what's popular versus what's not. You know,
well, that's always going to be the ebb and flow. That's always going to be, you know,
is it?
Well, yes, because because music is ever evolving. It's like anything else, any creative sensibility.
So, do you think we're ever going to see an ebb and flow where it pushes back to where we're going to see metal or classic rock or that genre push back through at some point?
Right now, as far as like the metal and the hard rock and everything, it's starting slowly to make.
The dads are still cool. I mean, like Metallica is still. Look at how Metallica's concerts have changed. You got a lot of 20-something and a lot of 60-something guys. At concerts.
But nobody. I don't see anybody like taking up. I mean, we're not, and I understand radio play is not what it used to be, but we're still not seeing radio play for new. We're not seeing heavy radio playing for new metal bands. You're not seeing heavy radio play for new classic rock bands. And by the way, I don't know if you guys caught this. While we're recording, apparently Metallica announced on Twitter today that they were here in Chicago and they were at the Metro and tickets were $20.
Oh my God! For $20, I'd go at the Metro. It was like, I think I've seen. I've been to the Metro.
That's
a
gotta
nice,
be
cozy little genre.
It's got to be a shit show there tonight.
You know.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we went to see Matthew Sweet at the Metro, Mike. So it's not one of you. Yeah, I mean, Metro is rich in history. A lot of stuff's happened at Metro. Metro, in many ways, like Rolling Stone, you know, it's still, you know, it's still a viable name. You know,
I mean, that's just crazy. $20. You got to figure that they were pretty much sold out the minute they put that on Twitter.
You would think, right?
Because what? I mean, that place can't hold more than what?
Well, if it's elbows and assholes, it probably holds about 200, maybe 250 tops.
Yeah, and you know it's going to be, even though everybody's going to be like social distancing. Yeah, fuck social distancing.
Nope, that's not going to happen.
$20 tickets to Metallica, no way. You're probably going to have people out the door trying to still get in, trying to listen from the street tonight. So,
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I get what you're saying, Mike and Ivan. I get what you're saying about that. You know, dads are taking their kids to some of these bands, some of these hair bands, some of these Metallica bands. But at the same time, we're not seeing new rock bands. We're not.
They're not beating the door down to want to be the next, you know, Guns N' Roses or Metallica or you know, Guar or the hundreds of other
or U2. Not even U2.
Yeah.
The only one, pretty much the only one standing is, well, I don't know, the Stones are, the Stones are still, are they still around, I guess?
Well, yeah, but I mean, the only bands, in fairness, there's the 90s bands. You've got Green Day, and then you've got,
Foo Fighters.
You got the Foo Fighters,
obviously,
and you got,
obviously.
And then you've got, Pearl Jam still doing shows, and the Pumpkins are kind of doing some shows here and there.
Okay, and then here we go. This amused the hell out of me. I had a friend of mine who was making a big to-do about, oh man, Morrissey's so fucking good over at Riot Fest, and I didn't have the heart to tell him the lead singer of Morrissey is traveling with the group Garbage right now because Butch Vig is in the hospital.
Yeah, and I haven't heard Garbage do much of anything in years, or at least a while.
Yeah, because I liked Garbage, and I liked Babes in Toyland. I liked I got into that whole ball of wax over at Beef when I was getting the College Music Journal, and I was getting CDs of the music, like the artists, before they were out there in that realm, and that's how I got introduced to PJ Harvey, and that's when I got involved with all the ones I mentioned in that respect. And then, when my friend talked about, how good Morrissey sounds because they got a different lead singer, and the guy who does, Morrissey, and it just goes to show that, it almost gets to the point where you could go ahead and almost get away with just replacing certain people because, well, first off, a lot of people are past.
Well, look at what Queen's doing right now with Adam Lambert.
Well, look at what Journey did.
Yeah, there's that too. But think about this: Queen hasn't really gone on tour anytime recently, and all of a sudden they got in cahoots with Adam Lambert, and now Queen's back with Adam Lambert as their front man.
Right, exactly. See, and that's what I'm trying to talk about. It can be done. Mm-hmm. It can be done, but
Right, but again, at the same time, do we hear Adam Lambert and Queen recording any new music?
Jeff.
No.
Jeff, I got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
What tribute artist would you want to go see? If it made to sound exactly like the original artist, who would you go see?
Oh wow.
Now, that's a question.
What tribute artist?
Wow.
You close your eyes and you think you're listening to the Genuine Article.
I've never been a fan of tribute bands.
Well, very few people.
I have never been a fan of tribute bands.
Well, then don't ever go to Branson.
I think I told you I was on a date with somebody once, and I was on a date with somebody. It was a first date, and it was so funny. The date was going really, really well. And then she mentioned that she, first of all, on top of the fact that she liked country music, and I can't stand fucking country music.
We know, Jeff. We know.
I can't stand it. Then she tells me that she regularly goes to see country tribute bands.
Okay.
And I was just like, so on top of the fact
Check, please.
that you listen to country, oh, no. Check, please, came when she said, I don't watch that science fiction shit.
Okay, then there you go.
Yeah.
So we're gonna
that was the end.
That ain't gonna work out. Yeah.
That was the end. Or when she told me about how she's, she would never watch that shit like The Walking Dead. And I'm like, yeah, that's yeah.
Okay, well, we're not, this ain't gonna work, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't, if I was looking for a tribute band, God, I don't know.
Your favorite playlist of a tribute band or one of your.
See, I think the answer I'd go with is probably a band that isn't out there anymore and doing their thing anymore. So I'd want to pick a band where that was the case.
Where the artist is dead.
So. Well, or they've argued enough that they don't want to tour anymore. The one that immediately comes to my mind is the Police.
Okay,
Okay.
fair enough.
The Police is the first one that comes to my mind. The second would be Huey Lewis, just because I don't know if Huey Lewis is ever going to, given stuff what I heard about with Huey Lewis's voice, I'm not sure where
about
that's
his
at
health,
these
yeah.
days. Yeah, I'm not sure where that is these days.
Let's see. Who would I see as a tribute band? Well, I've seen American English. I've seen the Beatles. They're probably the best Beatles tribute band out there.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard them, and if I close my eyes, I'm watching the Beatles. Let's see. Okay, this one's going to really strike you. Okay, if I wanted to see a tribute band, I'd like to see Type.
I'm sorry. Well, say again, Ivan.
You broke up there.
You're breaking up, Ivan. Your mic.
What?
Say again.
I would like to see Type O Negative.
Okay.
Okay, I don't know who that is.
They had a big record called Bloody Kisses, and that was real big in I think it was 1998, 1999.
Don't recognize the name.
Or here we go. Here's the person I'd like to see, and I'm sure if I want to see him, I would like to see the older version of this person here. I would like to see Beck.
By the way, considering how many versions of the Temptations are out there, do they count as a tribute band?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. In fact, no, it's.
I'm sure there are Temptations with 0 original members because obviously they're all dead, or like the sons of the members might have passed on.
Have spoken into the Temptations, each with one member, one either second or third generation member of the Temptations, because Otis Williams was the last original Temptation. He just passed. So, yeah.
that still is one of the craziest things in talk about music history crazy thing, which is I can't think of another band where that ever, our music group, where that ever happened, where it basically was like, okay, we're going to have like, it's like Temptations East, Temptations West, Temptations Central, that kind of, it's like
Temptations up in Canada.
Yeah.
But that's been done a lot. In fact, there's a big debate about bands still bands or groups, especially in the vocal sector. Who put the name on the ticket as this vocal group, that vocal group. I mean, most of the vocal guys are like in their 80s, 90s. Most of them are gone, but yet they still go ahead and carry on the names with either one very old member sitting in a chair while you got 3 or 4 other guys. I mean, if you watch T.J. Lubinsky in the PBS, that's a perfect example of the whole situation. I mean,
well, I imagine none of the are they of all the Beach? I assume all the Beach Boys are gone by now, right? Or are some of them like in a wheel out in a wheelchair?
In fact, believe it or not, Brian Wilson's still touring.
Is he? Okay, wasn't sure.
Yes, he was. Yeah, he's still touring. So that in of itself is nothing.
That's kind of like, I mean, that's almost the equivalent to like what Samuel L. Jackson was talking about. Now that he's like been in like the Star Wars and all those movies, Mike, where he's like, just wheel me out and let me say, "May the Force be with me." Well, where's my damn check?
Yeah.
For those conventions and
Nick
stuff.
Fury and Mace Windu and the guy from Pulp Fiction and all those other great
and Shaft, that's boy.
Narration I was doing. Where's all that money?
So he's not turned it on a paycheck. I think he still does those Capital One commercials.
I still think it's hysterical that Samuel Jackson is thinking that far ahead, where it's like, I'm gonna be like 80 or 90 and be like, wheel me out there. May the Force be with you. Now where's my damn check? He's already got that planned out. That's the scary part.
It's just like when Chuck Berry used to go into any club or any stage and everything. They had to make sure He had his 10 grand in a brown paper bag, real money. He came in
his bag of money.
You know, that was that's the one person I was really fortunate I got a chance to see.
Oh, you got to see Chuck?
It was late. It was late, and I think it was him. I assume it was him. He was around mid-80s, right?
Oh, no, of course. He didn't die till a couple of years ago.
Yeah, right. No, I saw him. We got tickets. He was in Vegas when I was in Vegas with my parents, and we saw Chuck Berry live in Vegas.
I'm glad I got to see Tom Jones back in 2004.
Yeah, that would probably be a good one too.
Oh, he's great. That was a great show.
The one.
I'm sorry. I was supposed
go ahead.
I was supposed to see. Because I was going to go see the Four Tops and the Temps over at Ravinia, and the Temptations showed up. The Four Tops didn't.
See, it's funny because I always wanted to see Tony Bennett in person, but he always comes to Ravinia, and I'm like, I don't want to go to Ravinia to see Tony Bennett.
You don't want to sit on a blanket and drink wine?
No,
and eat cheese?
not really. No. I mean, if anything, I want to
just get the pavilion seat.
I want to say, supper club. I want to see him.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, lounge and lounge.
You know what? You know why I wanted to see him? If he was going to play anywhere locally, the Chicago Theater would have been perfect.
Would have been ideal.
Or the House of Blues.
Perfect.
That's where I saw Tom Jones.
Because
that'd be good too.
Yeah.
But like if I'm talking about a venue, a Chicago venue,
Chicago Theater's great.
Yeah, I was always like, why are you playing? And I get why he's playing Ravinia, but it's like, why are you playing Ravinia? Why don't you play like the Chicago Theater just once? Because it's like, I don't want to sit on the fucking blanket. I don't want to sit in the pavilion. I want to sit like in an old school theater and listen to like an old school place like that. Like Ivan said, like that's why it was funny. Like if I really should try to catch him in Vegas one of those times where it's like, you know, like do like the supper club kind of thing. Absolutely.
Yeah, I heard he and Gaga are making more music together.
Mr. Kelly's still around. I would have been there in a heartbeat. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Like I said, to me,
places like that are few and far between now, which is a sad. And,
well, I mean, in fairness, it's going to be interesting to see because, well, I take it back. I was going to say we're losing the, you know, do we still have the crooner? But we kind of do. I mean,
they got Michael Bublé.
Bublé is probably the big name for that now.
Yeah, Michael Bublé is probably the,
and he's good. He's phenomenal. He really is.
No chopping on him.
Harry Connick stopped touring, I think.
Right. Well, Harry Connick's been doing movies and stuff. That's why.
Yeah, TVs and movies and
TV.
Such. Yeah. And he had a talk show for a couple of years.
Did he really?
Yeah, he had a talk show for like 1 or 2 seasons.
They really give everybody a talk show now, don't they?
Yeah.
Except us. Except us.
Right.
You've been on TV for 5 minutes, you get a talk show.
Well, you know, everybody. I mean, heck, all the Cosby kids from that show ended up with a talk show at one time or another.
You know who probably didn't? I don't think Malcolm Jamal Warner ended up with one.
No, he ended up on a TV show.
Right, he's on The Resident. He's on a big time show.
Okay, yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, he was on a show before that. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, The Cosby Show.
Well, no, not The Cosby Show. Not The Cosby Show. Rizzoli and Isles. He was on Rizzoli and Isles for a while.
Was he really? Okay.
Malcolm Jamal Walker?
Yeah, he's like probably one of the. He's probably the one who's gotten wasn't. Well, there's the other one, which is
Lisa Bonet
at one point.
Well, there was Lisa Bonet after she made
oh
Angel.
God, what was that movie? Yeah, that movie where she was half naked the entire time, and
that was pretty much the end of her career.
The only person who
What's
probably
the name of that movie? Asking for a Friend.
What?
Never mind.
Mike's asking what the name of the movie was where Lisa Bonet is like pretty much naked the whole time.
Asking for a Friend.
I can't remember. Yeah.
Research.
Yeah.
You know who of those like Cosby, well, technically she's not a Cosby kid, but she spun off on a different world was And she was on the first. I think she was on the first season. I don't know about the second season, but what's her name?
Who?
The chick from My Cousin Vinny.
Oh,
Melissa Tomei.
Yeah, Marissa Tomei. Yeah.
Marissa Tomei was actually on A Different World. Started there.
Felicia Rashad had a pretty good career.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah, Jasmine Guy had some
Jasmine Guy, yeah. Jasmine Guy did a lot of Broadway. That's the big thing with her.
There's two.
And then she did Harlem Nights.
Huh?
She did Harlem Nights where like the credits have Eddie Murphy having done everything.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you've ever seen the credits for Harlem Nights. It's like this Eddie Murphy, that Eddie Murphy, this Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy did this. Like Eddie Murphy took a shit. You know, you get that kind of it's that kind of thing.
He was the gaffer.
Yeah, he was the best boy. He was the gaffer.
He was catering. He was
catering.
grips.
Yeah, literally. Literally.
Yeah.
But yeah,
in fairness, that movie's a guilty pleasure watch.
So underrated. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's the one scene with him and Della Reese that basically makes the whole movie.
Oh, where he goes shot off the toe, or
that one. Oh, you better use garbage cans on me.
Yeah, I think the reason why he went with that was because he had such success with another movie that was before it. I'm trying to think, it was on where it was just a lot. It was because I know that was probably the largest black ensemble cast. I mean, Fox was in that.
Yeah. Well, Red Fox, Richard. I mean, I almost hate to say it. I think part of it was, hey, I want to do a movie with with Red Fox and Richard Pryor before they both go.
Well, the thing is, with Red Fox, we were talking about, you were talking about the person at Clubhouse, talking about Nipsey Russell and all that. Yeah, Red Fox from that double entendre circuit, Chitlin circuit, comedy circuit.
Yeah.
And, so that, with that situation being said, yeah, he was in cahoots with Nipsey, Slappy White, which is real obscure, if you really, Moms Mabley, and people like that. When you talk about Red Fox, everybody, when you talk about Red Fox, everybody gravitates to, oh yeah, Sanford and Son.
But he made some pretty raunchy comedy albums. He did a lot of stand-up.
Well, it's funny because right when he died, he had a new sitcom out on, I think it was ABC, and it was pretty good. And if he hadn't died, that sitcom would still probably been going on because it was solid. And the only reason I think it stopped was because obviously he died.
Right.
But it would have been interesting because then he would have had another sitcom to throw out there too. But he doesn't need to. I mean, he is who he is, and there's that. So.
Well, people like Red Fox, and you have like Flip Wilson, he really, pushed the envelope, especially on, television. The fact that, he was busy, not only, you got a black person doing a television show and then doing it in drag on top of it, Geraldine and everything like that. That was pretty.
Oh, so like RuPaul.
Yeah, just many years before RuPaul. I don't think RuPaul was born by the time Flip was doing that.
You better work. You better work. You better work. Work it, girl. Do a twirl.
What you see is what you get. Okay? I'm going to come on up in here and do this thing.
Before Medea.
Everybody want to touch my ching-a-lang.
Hey, as long as we're talking about people are gone, any thoughts on Norm Macdonald?
Okay.
I've watched a few clips. He was great. Probably one of the better Weekend Update anchors we had.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was great. Did some
I'm
great
trying to
comedy.
remember. I feel like I have to go back and watch that horrible Dirty Work movie again for some strange reason, and I don't know why.
Yeah, that was a
the
shocker.
The one with Artie Lang.
Oh, okay.
Where it's not a good movie.
That's why I'm laughing.
It's not a good movie, but it's like the only movie. It's like I'm trying to remember like movies that he. Oh yeah, he did do the Dr. Dolittle. He did do Dr. Dolittle. He was the voice of the dog, right?
He was the voice of Death in Family Guy.
That's right.
He was the voice of Yaphet, the green blob dude in the Orville. That's I don't know what they're going to do about him for season 3 now. I don't know if they recorded his lines or not.
I don't know.
He do like a stick with a pigeon, like some kind of comedy stick with a pigeon.
I don't think so.
I don't remember.
No, he wasn't a props guy.
I can't remember.
One clip I found of him when he's on Conan, and he's on with the chick from Melrose Place, and she's trying to promote an upcoming movie with her and Carrot Top, and he's like, he made his mind known about what he thought about this movie was going to be, and he wasn't
I'm
wrong.
Sure he did.
He wasn't wrong.
I'm sure he wasn't.
No. But, yeah, he was a funny dude, man.
I'm just trying, obviously, Saturday Night Live, I'm just trying to figure out, he was in Grown Ups, wasn't he? That's what it was. Yeah, that's right. It's funny, because, like, Norm Macdonald, I look at his career, it's like, yeah, he was, I look at, like, the filmography, and it's like, oh, God, this is bad. It's like, you look at it, it's like, wow, he just really didn't ever see.
He took a check, I suppose. But
yeah, well, no, some of this is just, you look at it like,
I'm sure it was, yeah.
It's like, oh boy. Like nothing, it's like the joke that Chris Rock has had over the years, which is Chris Rock's this great comedian, but quick, tell me a good Chris Rock movie. Good luck. Most of them were pretty bad.
Except for the ones with Jackie Chan.
That's Chris Tucker, not Chris Rock. That's worse than
Chris
me.
Tucker.
That's my job to confuse the
That's Chris Tucker. That's
people of
Chris
color.
Rock.
You get confused. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
That's Chris Rock. That's Chris Tucker.
Chris Tucker was like Sam's Club version of Chris Rock.
Yeah, that's why I got.
But Chris Tucker was in Michael Jackson video.
Okay.
He was in. He
Which
was
one?
in when Michael Jackson made that comeback. It was in the 2000s when what is it? The one good song he had in the 2000 off the 2000 album that I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. You Rock My World. That's what it is.
Okay,
cool.
He's in the extended video with he's Michael Jackson's like wingman.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
But he made a lot of money. Chris Tucker made a lot of money on those whatchamacallit movies.
Yeah,
Wait a minute. Chris Tucker, you're dissing Chris Tucker? My guy? Ruby Rod? Oh, hell no.
What?
Ruby Rod.
From the Fifth Element? Yeah.
Yeah. Don't you dare be dissing Chris Tucker, my guy, Ruby Rod from the Fifth Element.
We gonna die.
Eddie, talk about forgetting.
Corbin, we gotta die. We gotta die, Corbin. We gotta die. That movie is so vastly underrated. It really is good for all the wrong reasons. Like Magalores won't fight without the leader. Send someone in to negotiate. That's the leader. We're sending in someone to negotiate. He blows his head off. It's like, where do you learn how to negotiate like that? I wonder. How many movies have Tiny Lister as the president of Earth? Who would even think, like, hey, president of Earth, Tiny Lister? Nobody would ever dream of that idea. No one would put that guy in charge of the planet. Ever.
Why?
Because it's funny.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Right.
He's hysterical. He's like, Corbin Dallas, I'd like to salute a warrior. That is great. Get to the point. There's a ball of fire coming right. So funny. He's so. Oh God, yeah. Don't you be dissing by Chris Tucker, Ruby Rod. No way. We all gotta die.
Jackie Chan.
Yeah, that's true. So and obviously we got to get to what everybody did this week. But either one of you catch any of the highlights on the Emmys or hear anything about them? Or
I heard that the Mandalorian was up for a lot of stuff. I think they won a few technical awards. They were announced last week.
Yeah,
and I think WandaVision won a couple too.
Right. It seems as though all of the genre stuff that we liked was pretty much shut out of the. The writing, the producing, all those awards.
Yeah. They got all the nerd awards last week, and then last night was the.
And it's funny because I've seen something where people are upset because these shows didn't do well on the main Emmy broadcast, and I'm like, did you really think that any of these shows were really going to do that? No. I didn't think so. Maybe it's because I've seen the other shows that were listed. What did you watch that won awards? Oh, pretty much everything.
Yeah?
It's funny, most of the big winners from last night was all stuff I've seen.
Is it all, a lot of it was from Netflix?
No, a lot of it, well, The Crown won big.
Yeah, The Crown was on Netflix.
Right, The Crown was on Netflix. The Crown won big for pretty much the drama category. And then I told you guys about Queen's Gambit. That won for limited series, pretty much everything. And that's a phenomenal series if you've not seen it. It's not real long, but it's really good. Those would probably be the big two off of Netflix. The other things that were big winners last at the Emmys were Ted Lasso, which is Apple
Plus, or whatever they
for Apple Plus for comedy, and I've been watching Ted Lasso. It's a solid. I think I told you guys my feeling on Ted Lasso is it's a more upbeat version and more happy version of Brockmire. Is the best way I could put it. Is it's a similar feel to me. A little bit different, but similar kind of feel to it, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
In that, if anything, I kept sitting there going, I need to go watch the good Brockmire episodes now. It's. I don't know if you caught the premise, which is, so initially he gets hired. He and this guy, Coach Beard, get hired to. They were quote unquote successful, like Division III football coaches. And they're brought to England to, run a soccer team. To coach a soccer team. And it's kind of a little bit major league-ish in the fact that this woman initially, wants to, get back at her ex, and she owns the team. So she thought this was the best way to do it.
She's not interested in winning.
But the irony is that eventually, by midpoint or late season, she starts to get interested in winning. So now... It's just, this crazy guy who shouldn't be coaching soccer is coaching soccer, and it works. It's funny. There's some cute stuff in there, and where basically one of the players, the guy by the name is Jamie Tart, and to promote himself, he started getting everybody in the city to sing his name based on the Baby Shark theory, which is Jamie Tart, Jamie Tart, and it's funny because it works. And one of the other characters that I do enjoy on that show is a guy by the name of Roy Kent, who's an old school player, and every other word out of his mouth is fuck. I mean, every other, he's constantly calling people idiots and all this stuff. It's funny. And the best is at one point when he's retired, he's a commentator on their NFL Today kind of thing. And he's just brutal. I mean, they have to bleep him all the time. It's great.
Yeah, it sounds like there's a major league vibe from this.
Yeah, it's kind of got a little bit of that, but
Bob Uecker, he's the Bob Uecker,
Oh, well, not necessarily, but again, it's like I said, it's worth seeing. The other show that did well was Hacks. That was the other comedy that did well, and that's HBO Max. That was the Jean Smart series where she's the stand-up comic, and there's a younger woman who comes in to be her writer, so to speak. And that was a smart one. The other thing was Mare of Easttown, which is also HBO, because Kate Winslet did win a couple of things, because she's Kate Winslet.
Right, we saw your boobs.
Well, not that one you didn't, but
no.
Yeah. Somehow the English woman sounds like she's from Pennsylvania. Impressively so, by the way. So yeah, I'm not shocked by. I mean, I know that, and I think Hamilton did okay for the week. I know there are some people who are complaining that apparently people of color didn't win. I don't know how. At this point, the only thing I can say is they've diversified. Maybe they need to diversify more in terms of their votership. They had more unique people of color this year than any year ever before. But I don't know. I don't know if anybody would. I don't know if anybody's ever going to really be happy until.
Well, it's not going to happen until you get people from behind the camera to diversify. See, there it is.
Well, and again, they brought in people to diversify the voting public. But here's my question, which is, sometimes at some point you have to sit there and you go, okay, these people clearly were the best. If that's the people who are the best, then sometimes this is what it is. And that becomes, hey, look, it's possible they had a diverse crowd, and people still said, well, fuck, the crowd's still the best thing I've seen all year. It's still possible for that to happen. So,
okay.
the only other note probably of interest was, really, in reality, the network television at this point. I don't even know if network television has a shot anymore to win some of these awards these days. I just don't know. I mean, like the only show that was like nominated for one of the best shows was like This Is Us. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, what other must-see TV is there on the networks?
Go ahead. Sorry, Evan.
No, go ahead. You first.
Well, I don't know. I mean, look, there's certainly on the networks that people are watching, clearly. But at the same time... But
it seems like the streaming services tend to gravitate towards they can get the big money, they can put down, they want to take the risks and put out these mini-series, a lot of things, it's like these 6-episode arcs that these streaming services can do. The networks are hesitant to invest in those.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing of interest, and at some point, it's something that, maybe if I was a network exec, and I'm not, that, something to consider, which is, okay, instead of taking the big 20-plus episode seasons from these shows, maybe you start doing 6 to 8 or 13 episode seasons, so that way, you're turning. You're turning over. You're making the seasons more quality, and they turn over faster. I don't.
I think because it's been done for the 26-week sensibility on television for so long, nobody's really contested it, and I think the reason why television in of itself, if you were to go, let's say 26, let's go 13 episodes instead, and really make all those 13 episodes of nothing but quality instead of trying to string everything out over 26 weeks.
Well, I mean, the truth is, let's put it where it is. I think that's something you do with newer shows. The trick becomes that when some shows get very popular, like for example, look, Grey's Anatomy is still incredibly popular even to this day. It's 17 seasons in, right? 17, 18 seasons. They're gonna get the 20 plus seasons. 20 plus episode pickup, and people are going to watch that show. But it's been a while since that show has gotten any nominations for anything along those lines, and I don't know.
People like it, yeah. But I'm thinking in the initial, like if you're doing new shows, instead of 26, do 13, and then if you feel the need to make 26 episodes.
It's funny how like the networks have stopped having to package seasons in the way of selling DVD box sets. That's all about the concise stories, like 6 to 8 episode arcs you can put on Netflix. And then Netflix, you've got more, more risque content. You can get
there's that too.
Violence and F-bombs and titties. You can put on HBO, but not on BBC and all that.
Right, and that's part of it too, which is some content isn't. Some content that they're doing on some of these stations you can't do on the broadcast networks. But at the same time, you still, I kind of laugh because people are like saying the broadcast networks are dead. Not really. There's still a lot of the country where the broadcast networks is a thing. And so to me, I kind of laugh when people say that. We're not there yet.
The networks you can still get local programming. You got still family oriented shows and stuff that grandma will like, because that is a percentage of their viewing, and the daytime talk shows, of course, and game shows.
And of course rags like Maury Povich and things like that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but that's syndicated. Yeah, but those are syndicated. Yeah. So, I mean,
and I think television is just kind of like pulled out in allegedly family style television where if you're not going to pay for streaming or you're not going to pay for anything else, just your general what I call boomer television, and.
But it's not boomer television. Like, for example, I'll give you an example. The Good Doctor, honestly, the guy who plays Sean, the guy who's playing the autistic guy on the show, that guy, does a really great job, but I don't know that guy is ever gotten even a sniff towards an Emmy nomination or anything along those lines or something like that to be considered. And that to me is kind of one of those where you sit there and you say to yourself, okay, I don't know. I mean, some people are talking about categories specifically for network comedies and network dramas. We'll see if maybe one day that comes to pass. I don't know. I don't know.
What you say?
Yeah.
So, Mike, let me ask you a question. What do you think it's going to take? What do you think it's going to take for? Because look, let's be honest. This year it wasn't going to happen. At least I'm going to tell you, having watched a lot of stuff this year. The nice part about COVID is, we had a lot of time in the house.
Yep, we sure did.
I had a lot of these services, and I got a chance to watch a lot of this stuff. And I'm going to tell you, my question to you is, what do you think it's going to take for a show to win in the other category? Like, not the creative arts section categories.
I don't know. I mean, you can't get more mainstream in the fantasy, sci-fi nerd shit than you can with Star Wars. And if The Mandalorian couldn't do it, I don't know what could. I mean, you're going to have your Martin Scorsese's and people who say that's fanfare. It's not real cinema. And we've had this discussion before. It might be another generation or two before we see our type of, like our pop culture superhero films and Star Wars in in an award show like this. Like I said, they'll still get the technical awards because they earn it because of the special effects and the makeup and the sets and the costumes. Except, period pieces aside, like some of those like Marie Antoinette and all type that type of period piece films. I don't know. Like I said, Mandalorian set the bar a bit higher, but it's not gonna. It might be a while.
Well, I just think it's interesting because to me, see, the part where I'm impressed at is that these series are at least even in the running. I mean, that to me is an impressive start.
Yeah.
Because
I know. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You finish your point, and I'll go ahead.
Well, no, I mean, let's be honest. When have any of the CW shows ever made it in? They haven't. You know, there's definitely been a step up in terms of what's being done with some of these shows.
Yeah. In our, fantasy, sci-fi, superhero genre, as far as in the mainstream television. I
think it's still possible. I really do. And, I don't know yet. I was curious if you had a thought on it, just because I did see, like, certain people having their nerd rage today about none of these people won these other awards, and it's like,
I heard The Handmaid's Tale. The Handmaid's Tale was nominated for 21 awards and didn't win a single one.
Well, and what, Mandalorian was that
for
high
several
up too.
of them. Yeah, well, not that high as that, but
no, I think they were that high.
No, I don't think so.
I don't know. Like
we'll
I said,
but yeah, it was up for some technical. It did win some technical awards, but it didn't win anything like in acting or best show.
Or the directing or producing or that kind of stuff.
Although it's
I don't know. Like I said again, the one thing that to me I kind of laugh about, which is, and this is the part that, if truth be told, I kind of laugh because with Hollywood pushing about the movies and all this stuff, to me, I kind of laugh because I feel like right now is the golden age of television. I really do. I mean, there's
a lot of quantity, that's for sure.
Well, and it's not just the quantity. There's so much good content out there, to the point of where, I mean, you and I, the three of us could sit there and name shows people would sit there and look at us and go, I can't believe you've never seen that show. That's the reason I'm saying it. Like, off the top of my head, I think I watched like maybe one episode of Mad Men. That's it. I told you, I fell asleep. Like, I watched 3 episodes of Game of Thrones. I fell asleep in one of them. And I was like, I can't do it. I've never seen an episode of Breaking Bad.
I watched the finale.
Okay.
I watched the last 2 episodes because I was wanted to catch that hype train. And we talked about this in past shows, but I was just talking with family members because that trailer dropped for the Saints of New York. And I'm reading the cast list. I'm like, oh, yeah, he's going to play Silvio. And, oh, he's going to play Paulie Walnuts. And so, yeah, we're getting these characters back. And I was there from episode 1 with The Sopranos. But all these other shows, that followed that tried to follow that same formula, like Game of Thrones, I was like, oh, it's just like Lord of the Rings meets The Sopranos. And it's also with Yellowstone's coming up, I think. New season of that. That's got my attention. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
See, there's another example of a show that didn't get. There's another. See, and that's what I mean.
It's good drama, but it didn't get any recognition from the Emmys.
Right, exactly. And I think that's. And it's funny, that's not even a network show, but I think that's the other part that's not helping the networks these days. Is there are so many. I mean, look, we've talked about this before. There's what? There's Apple TV. There's Paramount. There's HBO Max, there's Amazon, there's Netflix. There's Hulu. There's all these other services right now, and the one way that they're getting people to show up is they're pumping out new content.
They're paying for quality content.
Right. And so suddenly, it's a lot harder for it's going to be a lot harder for the networks because you're right. They're going to have their, and P.S. they don't have to worry about having a news department. They don't have to worry about having a real morning show in the morning. They don't have to worry about having a night show. They don't have to worry about affiliates.
Right. Local programming to fill
Right, or all that other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
None of that stuff is anything that they have to worry about. All they have to do is worry about their streaming service.
Well, ABC's partnered with, obviously, Disney owns ABC.
Right.
Xfinity, Comcast owns NBC, and Paramount owns CBS. So
and Universal NBC owns Peacock, which I forgot to mention.
Right.
So
they're not going anywhere, but they fill a different gap, and the Emmys are not. Well, what am I trying to say? The Emmys recognize all these other shows, but most of them are on streaming services, not on the networks anymore.
Yeah. Well,
the talent and the quality content has migrated from the networks to these streaming services. I remember when the Ace Awards first showed up, the cable awards.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they still have those or not, because
I don't know. I don't know if that even exists anymore. Yeah. But it's interesting to me because they may have to consider, okay, can we differentiate for network shows? Yeah,
the cable Ace Awards went from 1978 to 1997. They don't even have them anymore. The last award show was from 24 years ago. So Ace Awards.
Wow.
But cable, like from 78 to 97, that's how you got content other than the networks, and they recognized that.
Right. I mean, the truth is, this has been slowly but surely coming. I mean, you've had you've had a lot of, you had HBO who was doing all this stuff. You had FX who was delivering great content, and they still do. Okay. But it's funny, even like a network like FX or TNT where they were delivering stuff like that. Even now, those networks are overshadowed by, I mean, look at what HBO ended up doing, which is they basically created HBO Max. So now it's all this HBO content on top of all the other content that they create, and then they're creating content on their own for HBO Max. So
the only thing I'm afraid of is that you're going to have so much of this content, and everything. I mean, would you think after a while?
I'm sorry, what was that, Ivan?
Would you think that it would be a sense of oversaturation, all of this stuff?
Well, no, I mean, it's good to have quantity. That way there's more chances you're going to find good product. It's good to have competition until the competition starts killing all the other competitors.
Right. Well, and we've talked about that too, is where's the saturation point on streamers?
Right. Because you can name like 10 different streaming services. You got to pay a monthly fee to see all this shit.
Right.
As far as I know, we're not in that tax bracket where we could pay for all 10 of them.
Like I said, I mean, I'm getting, look, I'm getting Apple TV for free for the year. Otherwise, I wouldn't have Apple TV Plus. Okay. But they gave it to me free for the year. So, okay. I'm taking it for the year for free. Because we have Xfinity and I use it for my internet, I get Peacock for free. Okay. I have Prime, not just for the content on Prime, but obviously if I'm buying stuff off Amazon. So yeah, I have Prime. I have Netflix. I have Disney. I mean, the only ones I don't have right now, and it's funny because I have a family member who's bugging the hell out of me about they're seeing stuff that looks interesting on Hulu. Can we get Hulu? I'm like, how many more services are we going to get? Right now we're only missing in our household. The only two we're missing right now is Hulu and Paramount Plus. That's it.
Okay.
That's it. And I don't. It's kind of crazy that way.
But the Emmys happened and they recognized some good stuff. But was there a show that you enjoyed a whole lot? You were surprised it wasn't nominated or recognized at all?
I'd have to go back and look.
Aside
I'd have
from
to go
nerd
back
shit?
and look. Well, no, I mean, a lot of the nerd shit was recognized.
It was.
Even WandaVision was on the list.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I think the cutoff was before Winter Soldier, which is, I think that
Yeah, Falcon and Winter Soldier was not in any of the runnings.
Right, so I think that was where the cutoff point was. But I could be wrong about that. But I'm trying to remember who all the nominees were. I don't know. Let me see if I can pull up a list real fast.
Okay.
Sorry, give me... Okay, so for Outstanding Drama Series, it was The Mandalorian, The Boys. I haven't seen Lovecraft...
The Boys, that's superhero shit.
Right. So, of the series in the Outstanding Drama, I saw all of them except Lovecraft Country. And if I'm being honest, my reaction is... Oh, I'm sorry. There are a couple more, too. There were a couple that I didn't see. I don't really watch Pose anymore. I found it kind of boring at times. I didn't watch Handmaid's Tale. So I'm sorry. I apologize. There are 3 that I did not watch of the ones that were nominated. But pretty much everything else in there I watched.
Okay.
Comedy series? Let's see. See, this is weird because, Flight Attendant was listed for Outstanding Comedy, which doesn't even make any sense. I haven't seen Blackish. I haven't seen Pen 15. I haven't seen The Comiskey Method since season 1. I saw Hacks. I saw Emily in Paris. I saw Cobra Kai. I saw Ted Lasso. I don't even know. Again, I don't understand why Cobra Kai and Flight Attendant are even listed in that. But
it's a comedy. I think it would best classify itself as a comedy. It's lighthearted. It doesn't take itself too seriously.
I mean, it's funny. Here's lead actress in a limited series, and this was the category that Elizabeth Olsen was in. And the winner was Kate Winslet for Mare of Easttown. And I gotta be honest, she was phenomenal in Mare of Easttown. So I can't fault that.
But Elizabeth Olsen was up for WandaVision.
Right. I mean, I'm looking to see who some of the people were that were up. I didn't even know there was a new Perry Mason out. That's interesting. I mean, The Crown just kicked butt on this stuff. I mean, it just seemed to take over everything. I'm looking to see who was out there for. Yeah, I mean, seriously, I'm looking at this and it's I'm having a hard time not justifying this, on some of these. Queen's Gambit won, absolutely. I mean, and it's funny, there's a couple here I didn't see, but if you're going to ask me between Mare of Easttown, WandaVision, and Queen's Gambit, I'll take Queen's Gambit over those 2 easy, just to give perspective. I mean, I'm looking at some of these and...
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I can't fault a lot of this. I mean, it's funny, the guy I was telling you about who plays the guy I was telling you about the one guy who's the retired player. That's the guy who won Best Supporting Actor.
Right.
No, the Ted Lasso show. Roy Kent. That guy's the guy who won Best Supporting Actor. So there you go. I can't fault anything the way it looks. I could go deeper, but nah. By the way, so gentlemen, how was your trip?
It was fine. Friday morning, went and drove down into the big city and picked up Ivan at his humble abode. And we made our way back to the cornfields turned strip malls of McHenry County and had a nice visit on Friday. And then Saturday we drove up to Milwaukee and we had a socially distanced and masked little get-together with our Dairycon buddies, the little Wisconsin Transformers convention we do. That was great. I had a great time. Ivan spun some records. And, it was great. Had a wonderful time. The problem was, well, not just aside from the portion sizes, the food. We had food available, but it wasn't available we didn't want to do like a buffet style or anything like that where you had to share like a pair of tongs or anything like that. So we had like individual servings of like chips, but we had a couple of people serving like hot dogs and nachos and even burgers that they had kept warm in a crock pot. So that was good. It was fun. Had a good time. And then we drove back into the city. We stopped at a travel plaza. It's not a truck stop. It's a travel plaza on 94 or 41. And I ordered Taco Bell from a kiosk. It's like you place the order. You can either swipe your card or just press cash. But then they wouldn't like start making your food until you wait for someone to go to the register and you pay the cash, and then you get the food. But they had a kiosk there where people could up to 3 people could place orders, and even just if I'm sure if you swiped your card right then and there, they'd start making the food. But man, oh man, so that was interesting. Then we got back to the city. Dropped off Ivan, and we got back. Traffic wasn't too bad, although for Saturday night, traffic in Chicago was pretty bad. Like a Saturday, like early evening, traffic was kind of crazy.
The toy shop, man.
Yeah, and we did. I was getting to that. We did stop at Toy du Jour, formerly Logan Hardware Records, in Chicago, and that was a trip. That was fun. Some of the stuff was I think some of the stuff in the back was like for commission or something. So that stuff was a little overpriced.
And it was a little high. But,
yeah.
You know, walking back into what used to be Logan Hardware Records.
And you worked there for a long time.
Yeah, and it just seems so strange to see everything reconfigured and just they didn't take out any of the original, store. I mean, they kept all the counters. They kept the aesthetic about it. But it's just, everybody, Steve and Matt, you saw a toy store, everything, and I walked in, and I was like, look, it just was a whole different world for me, just like, and all I kept thinking about was, oh yeah, I remember when that used to be there. I remember when that used to be there. I remember when this was this and that was that. And,
yeah, we were talking to the owner for a while, and he was talking about how he finished. They Logan Hardware Records left, and then it was Electric Jungle or whatever. And then when they got done setting up, right when COVID hit, and then they were closed down for several weeks, and they had to do online sales to help stay in business. And then they were limiting number of people. Like he had a key fob on his keychain that allowed him to lock the door from 20 feet away. So just to limit access to make sure not too many people got into the store.
And and the fact that they had the good fortune, Zesby, James Zesby, owns the building and everything, helped out in a lot of ways.
Ivan, you need to step closer to the microphone.
I'm sorry, am I too close? Am I too far?
That's good.
Yeah. Okay, so with that being said, yeah, James Zesby, who the building and everything, and I'm sure that helped out a lot with getting the business confident too, so I'm sure that we're helped out in that respect. Yeah, it's a great toy store, and Sam and everybody there. If you get an opportunity, check it out. It's really got a lot to get. Bet the fact if you into the consignment price, a lot of things that will definitely stir your nostalgia. And I mean, it was really well. It was to me, I thought it was really well put out, displayed and put together and all that.
Yeah, the fall the fall special was good to see friends again, and we had a great time.
Yeah, great, being out there and seeing everybody. And just having this marvelous time. I mean, it's just I the fact that I mean, it is. I'm going to an event with my best friend to go check out more best friends and to something we all love, and hanging around with with my family and everything. And
Ray showed up later with the kids.
Yeah,
so they're having Nadia seemed like she was having a great time.
Oh yeah, Nadia was having the best time. Sitting there trying to attack me with her lightsaber.
Yeah.
But that was fun, though. It was funny. And, you should, on the way out of the Toy du Jour, and it was just like, here's this kid chasing after me, trying to poke me with a stick.
Yeah, it was literally trying to stab you.
Yeah.
Yeah, what the hell is up with that? I was like, I was staring that kid down. I was ready to smack that stick out of his kid's hand. I don't know, man. You let that kid off easy, man. I know this was like maybe 7 or 8 year old kid. I don't know.
Had to several levels. One, if I would have done anything or said anything to the kid, I'm sure the mom had, enough and stuff like that. So I didn't want to invite the situation into our day. So I just left. When I just, what, and it seemed like the mom looked so tired. She already. So I was like, I'll let her deal with this after hours. At least better her than me. So leaving that alone. Yeah. And then,
but we had a good time. I exposed Ivan to a few episodes of that show I talked about earlier, Tales from the Tour Bus.
Oh my God, great fucking show.
Yeah, it was good.
What great fucking show. You know what? I'm looking for DVDs of it. I gotta have it. I mean, because it's just too good. It's too good.
Because it's available for download. I bought the seasons through Comcast, but I don't know if there's other streaming services. I don't know if it's not on Netflix. I know that. So, but yeah, okay. Well, yeah, if you can hunt it down, that's great because they're fun to watch. Besides that, yeah, we had a real good time. Had some good food, hung out, had some friends. So it was great. Had a good time.
It's always a party at Mike's house. It's great. And, through April, coming around the corner, and the big Cow Palace.
Yeah, we'll be back, and we'll see our gang back again in April. So.
And then bringing the gear.
Did you get anything cool?
I got. I won a Migo Chachi from Happy Days in the raffle.
My God.
So I'm like, I don't even know if they made a Joni. But it's like Migo, like the retro, like Migo was with the 7 or 8 inch dolls with the actual soft goods clothing. They had one of the cross sell on the back of the card. You can get the Fonz, you can get Richie Cunningham, or you can get Chachi, and I won Chachi because Fred puts the crazy stuff in the raffle. So I won. Yeah. I got another Beast Machines Obsidian, one of those little green helicopters. I think I got it planned out. Everyone gets one at my funeral, because I only have plenty to go around. What else? I got a Batman figure. Got like a third-party Legends class little jazz for my desk here. Like often I have to mute my microphone, and you have to stop me from changing my robots here and on my desk. So I got some desk robots. And what else did I get? I got at the Toy du Jour I got the new. It's like a 25th anniversary reissue of the original Cheetor Beast Wars figure from 1996, and it's on like the original like Rocky bubble kind of card. So it's cool. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to open it. It looks nice on the card, so it's nice to may hang on the wall or something. But I don't think that's about it. A couple little things, but yeah, I got a few things. I sold a few toys, set up my table, and sold a few things, bought a few things. It's like I was like when the Blues Brothers are leaving Bob's Country Bunker. There's $200, and you boys drank $300 worth of beer. It's like that. Like me and action figures. That's how it is at these shows. But Ivan, he got a couple things, but. I was asking if you saw anything at Toy du Jour, but I don't think you did.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Well, I did see a bunch of stuff in there I wanted to get, but funds weren't making that possible. But it'll definitely make for next time. Poor connection, trying to find a stronger signal.
Oh yeah, that's why you're constantly going in and out.
Well, sorry.
That's what she said.
Mm-hmm.
I here, and like my bar is in, Weird.
Okay. Yeah, I watched, let's see, what else? I watched latest episode of Lower Decks, and I saw that show still has me rolling on the floor. I'm always reminding myself that I'm not the target audience, but man, this is still good. It has the Easter eggs for the older audiences, and it's just dumb fun. So it's like a.
But it's not you know what?
And we'll get into What If later, but yeah, I still dig in Lower Decks. Like last week's episode was kind of but this one was made up for it. It was in the laughs, so I'm still digging it. Yeah. So Ivan, aside from the 3-day weekend, did you do any streaming? I know you did some any Facebook Lives or Twitches. Twitch.
After I got home.
I'm sorry, Ivan.
After I got home, hold on a minute. I'm having problems. Hold on.
Okay. While Ivan fixes his problems, how was your week, Jeff?
So it's funny. I was going to do a storytelling show, and then they overbooked it. And then the irony was it rained, so haha. But I'll get booked on another show down the road for it. And did the Sunday night storytelling show, Sunday Night Stories. It was a good show. It was weird because like 3 of my tellers were running late, and I was like just about to start. Like the first teller was going, and I couldn't find any of the 3 other tellers, and I'm like, all right, it looks like I'm gonna have to pull out a story. Maybe I'll have to see some people from the audience. All of a sudden, all 3 of my tellers just show up out of nowhere, and I'm like, oh, thank God.
They've like crowded through the door, like.
Well, it was funny because they all come up on there because I have them all where they can come straight on stage.
Right.
So it was funny because I'm like, oh, thank God, and I'm like, oh, thank you. But yeah, that was kind of weird. And then, it's funny. For one of the taste testing things I've been doing, they gave me a whole slew of pancake batter. So I feel like
pancake
I am
batter?
learning, that I had to make pancakes and stuff. So I feel like I am learning how to make pancakes, if you understand what I mean. So it's kind of, it's been I feel like I'm constantly making pancakes.
At least you did cook it, right? You didn't just eat it raw.
No, you can't eat it raw.
Okay,
you
good.
gotta cook. But it takes, I'm learning how to do the consistency of how to make a pancake.
Right, and how soon you gotta flip it.
Yeah, and all that other garbage, and what my favorite is when family members sit there and they're like, "Oh, can you put things in the pancakes? It's hard enough as it is. Now you want me to put shit in the pancakes? Fuck me, just fuck me." I am having enough trouble just making the pancakes. Now you want nuts and shit in there. It's or blueberries.
What's your go-to item for pancakes?
In terms of
what do you the one thing you would like to add to a pancake, a regular pancake, as you cook it? What do you want baked into the pancake?
Well, I didn't have any chocolate chips, but I probably would add chocolate.
Yeah, chocolate chip would be for me. I used to have blueberries, but I don't know that. I'll like blueberry muffins and blueberry other type things, or blueberry Pop-Tarts, stuff like that. But eating actual blueberries, it's doesn't. It's not like grape or something like that. It's a different. It's the consistency. It's the texture.
So So here's what I've been doing lately: is I'll take blueberries and blackberries and raspberries. And what I'll do is I'll take that, and then I'll take peanut butter. And then what I'll do is I'll smash it all together. And I'll basically just keep stirring it all together until it's one big smash thing. So it's fruit with peanut butter. So it's almost kind of like a peanut butter and jelly kind of thing. It's pretty good.
I like cutting apples and putting and dipping them in peanut butter, and I like doing that. As far as pancakes are concerned, if I pride myself on one thing, I do make a mean pancake. And,
but I don't know that I want a mean one.
No, I mean, I know. I mean, I've done it. I used to do it. Yeah, used to do it at McDonald's when we used to make pancakes, and real pancakes, not prefab like they got now. But yeah. And
no, I wish it was prefab. I wish it was prefab. It was like the mix and everything, and it got everywhere. And it's like, oh, this sucks.
Because for me, the trick of it is, okay, once you've got mixed down in the bowl,
Mm-hmm.
all right, once you poured it out, use a spray, don't use oil, and then after that, when you see it start bubbling on the edges, and then when the bubbles start coming to the center, that is just about the time to flip under there and turn that bad boy over.
Yeah.
And
Noted.
yeah, and so that's one of the tricks. If you're gonna fruit it up or anything, always once you've done it, small, chop, throw them in there into the bowl and everything like that. Mix it. Use a blender. Blender is also very good because it just brings it down.
No, you just mix it in a bowl. I don't get another. Blender's another thing. You got to get dirty. You got to clean it afterwards.
Yeah,
you get a bowl and a spoon.
There's enough shit that I gotta clean when I was done.
Yeah, pour it in out of a blender. Now I got to clean the blender.
Yeah, my favorite is like, here, use this mixing cup that I have to like basically clean 3 times so I can make the mixing, so I can like do this.
Gotta keep it simple for us simple folk like me.
Well, I just it's because I've been making pancakes for years and stuff.
I need the the carton is a lot easier, just a lot easier. Just you pour it out of the carton and boom, all good.
The water. No, I do the buy. I mean, I also make my fair share of waffles too. That's right. Tomorrow I'm making waffles.
You have a waffle iron?
Yes, I do.
Last time I tried to use a waffle iron, I set off the smoke alarm. So,
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, trying to think of anything else this week. The season 2 of the morning show started, so I caught that Friday night.
With the Reese Witherspoon?
Yeah, it's Reese Witherspoon, Jennifer Aniston, Billy Crudup, and I don't know if Steve Carell's going to be back this season or not. I'm not sure. I think there's a couple. They're adding somebody else to it too, but yeah. So that's there's another example of a show. Well, no, I take it back because last season they technically the way it was they wouldn't have been eligible for one because I think they came out in 2019. So they would have been for the 2020s. But yeah, so that's they had their season 1 episode. I did catch an episode of Ted Lasso. That it's weird because they basically focused on Coach Beard, and it was kind of a strange episode. It was extremely very kind of out there, and I'm trying to think of anything else I picked up. I picked up a note. I'm sorry. I saw Titans, and we're up to episode 8. This is probably of them. This was probably the best episode in a while.
That's good.
It was better than some of the others. Again, I'm curious to see. They only got 5 episodes left. I'm not sure how they plan on landing the plane, if you know what I mean. And it certainly seems like as much as they're showing certain people, some of those people we're not seeing this season, or at least we haven't yet. So we'll see.
Maybe it'll be the big reveal at the finale.
I have a feeling that's kind of where they're going with this.
They're where they're going with it.
Yeah, I have a feeling that might be what we end up with, but we'll see.
In answer to your question, after I get done with after I got back from the fall meetup, actually my day was far from over because I had to create, for my mother-in-law's 80th birthday, which was Sunday, was on Sunday. Okay, so I got home and I rested up a little bit after the long ride and everything, and then afterwards I dug out about 3,000 or 4,000 singles, and of the 4,000 singles, ended up mastering out 64 tracks to make a 3-hour set. Strictly for background music and everything. So I was up. I got started about by the time I sorted everything, I got started at 11:30, and I got done at like 3:30 in the morning on Sunday morning. Got some sleep, and then afterwards, I got up and then had to be, shit, shave, shower, changed, and ready to go with the gear and everything. And we were out at the house again at 10:45 in the morning to make our way to Indiana and to perform this, to be the DJ, master ceremonies for Julie's mother's 80th birthday. It was really nice. It was at a place called Cloister in the Woods. It's a big, beautiful banquet room, and set up in the middle of this forest. It was a really beautiful place. Oh. And it was nice, got out there with the gear and entertained the people, and I was feeling pretty good since I've been taking the new diclofenac medicine that's been added to my pill regimen. I take it fussingly, but I take it, and managed to get out there and dance a little bit and get to be my old self again for a while. But man, by the time I got done with the setting up and the entertaining and then the breaking down and then driving back here, everything ended at 5, which was nice. And then we were back here in the city at we left at 5:45. We got to Chicago. Amazingly enough, got to Chicago at 6:30. Which
at least you got home. Good, you got home before dark. That's good.
Got home before dark, and we missed the whole abyss that was the Bears game and everything, which was kind of nice. And by the time I got done and out of the clothes and everything, sat down in the chair, man, I was completely wiped.
Yeah, I slept all day Sunday.
Yeah, 9 I got to bed. I'm not usually in bed at 9:30, but I was in bed at 9:30 on a Sunday, and I slept for 12 hours. I didn't get up.
Only a couple times in my life I've done that, where I sleep like 12 hours at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got up. I got almost 10 o'clock this morning, and so I, just took it real slow.
That's when Ivan woke up and went, bang, you got boner.
Yeah, and so, but as I took it easy, the records all back, they were scattered everywhere, and just putting things away. And now, while I'm with you guys, here doing the show and just shuffling through the things, getting ready things to get packed up. We should know about the finality of signing papers for the apartment any day now, which is going to be really nice. And so hoping for sometime in October. So that's the goal. And so that's all. It's all good.
Yeah, good. Do you have anything else, Jeff?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head, unless Ivan's got anything else, or we can hit what if.
Well, let's see. Aside from that, I got a call from Melissa, and my first and third Sundays are going to start up again in October, which that'll be nice to make some extra money. And
is that at Kohl's?
No, that's going to be at Logan Arcade.
Oh, Logan. Okay, good.
And as far as Kohl's is concerned, I'm going to be on the second Sunday this month because Kohl's is having this first Sunday. I will be at Cafe Mustache first Friday, so looking forward to that. That'll be.
You mean next month?
Yeah, for next month, for October.
Right.
And of course, there's a possible Halloween party, which Soraya wants to. Soraya and I are going to be the Turnblatts. See Turnblatt. I'm going to be the mom. So we're going to pull that off. Ralph is going to have the Halloween party, which she said I'll probably be spending there too. So that's going to be a lot of fun trying to get the costume set up for that.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I'm doing anything for Halloween. Of course, I don't work. Halloween falls on a Sunday. I don't work on Sunday, so I don't think I'm going to dress up for Halloween. I'd just be passing out candy. No. So,
what's going to be nice, man, is with the new place, if we're there before Halloween, yes, this will be the first time in a long time that I'll be passing out some candy. I'm going to be so excited to do that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm going to dress up as a lesbian trapped in a man's body.
Whoa, that's okay.
What are you talking about?
You heard me.
Yeah.
That's my Halloween costume. Be a lesbian trapped in a man's body.
But I'm gonna actually be Vlad's mom. That's gonna be fun. I can't wait to see what I'm gonna be able to do with that.
What am I? Is it?
I'm a zit. Get it?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, we watched. Well, this week we did get. Last week was the newest episode of What If, and
yep.
This one is I don't know. The story to this one is kind of meandered. Like,
I think this is the best one they've done.
It's just kept going and going and going. Each one twist betrayal after another, and all of a sudden it's over. Like, they didn't conclude the arc.
Yeah, that was, well, but they've done that a few times now.
Yeah, I suppose. But, like, especially one with the zombie one, which is good. They kind of, like, just kept going, and they, like, I'd be interested in seeing, like, a part 2 of this in season 2 of What If.
Here's my real question.
What's your question?
Do we think that we might see any of this spill over into actual shows?
No.
Or movies?
No.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
I mean, if they're really going to do this multiverse thing,
no, they got so much else, so many other things in the well with Marvel that they can get into. This this is What If's territory. They might tease something like, you might see something like in a flash, like especially with this multiverse of madness coming and with Doctor Strange meddling with the timeline or whatever in No Way Home. Oh yeah, we'll get into that. We've got something about that. But anyway, but your answer to your question, no, I don't think What If is going to branch out in any major way into the live action MCU.
I don't know. I mean, like, for example, to me, this is a great example of where you could take some of the things that have gone on in What If, and some of these characters or some of these versions could end up finding themselves on camera. But
I suppose maybe we could see like a What If Captain Carter movie, or like a one-off, Well,
maybe. I mean, I'm not even thinking that, but like, for example, if this multiverse is going to be where, things are going to bleed into one another, is there a reason why we couldn't see Captain Carter show up in the Captain America 4 movie? I don't know. Is there a possibility that the Doctor Strange that we saw at the end of that episode couldn't end up in the Doctor Strange movie? I'm not sure. It would certainly be interesting to see this version of Killmonger, who, quite frankly, to me, this version literally rivaled the likes of your Doctor Dooms, your Lex Luthors, in terms of where he was and what he was doing. And, yeah, I would like to have seen where they were going to go with this, even further than they did. And I was surprised at where it ended.
Yeah, I was surprised that it ended so abruptly. I was like, this one more up step or another. Or how are we going to stop Killmonger? Like, it's just over. And, watch her be all like, heroes prevail or something like that. I was like, or heroes persist or something like that, or heroes finds a way or something like. Would have been neat how Pepper and Shuri took him down, but we never saw that. So, oh well. But this one dealt with the what if Killmonger saved Tony Stark, whereas he didn't have to get the shrapnel in his heart, didn't get captured by the terrorist guys, and didn't have to build the Mark I, and didn't create the miniaturized arc reactor. And it certainly did turn out different. That was for sure.
Yep.
So it was interesting. But I was just kind of bummed out by the ending. There's some cool stuff in it.
Well, I think the direction, it was fascinating to see. This version was fascinating to see in the fact of what they were, seriously, this version of Killmonger, to me, would rival some of the great villains in the history of comic books. I mean, the level of where he was at by the end of the episode, literally, he's poised to pretty much, if he wanted to, take over the world.
Yeah. Without T'Challa and without Iron Man and with I don't know, at this point maybe S.H.I.E.L.D. would have had to step in. Who knows?
If S.H.I.E.L.D. and again, what exists within S.H.I.E.L.D.
Right. If this is taking place in 2008, before Cap gets thawed.
Who's really around? I mean, that's
yeah.
That becomes part of it. So so it would have been interesting to see how this all.
I would have liked to see a continuation of this, but maybe we'll get one.
And maybe we will.
Maybe
we will.
You never know.
But I thought it was a fascinating story to see how it played out and to see that really in reality that, it was funny because for a while it's like, okay, maybe Killmonger does change and becomes a hero of some sort. Nope.
I was waiting for that turn where he gets that change of heart. Nope, didn't happen. He's still a bad guy.
Nope. If anything, he used it more to his advantage this time than he did last time.
Right.
He was
smarter, right? He's played it smarter.
Right. If anything, by the end, he's got all that. He's got that Stark technology army that's literally sitting in Wakanda that he's gonna basically get to keep. Not to mention that now he's pretty much gonna be like the next Black Panther, and you get the idea.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, his plan was when he took over in the regular Black Panther movie was like, okay, we're gonna go take out the world. Well, this time he would have had the ability to go take out the world.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Michael B. Jordan did a good job, and the guy who was the voice of Tony Stark did a fine performance.
It was weird that it wasn't Robert Downey Jr.,
best approximation. I knew we weren't going to get Robert Downey Jr., but we got another appearance by Chadwick Boseman. Like, I wonder how many more we have of this, but I mean, it's weird now that with he kills T'Challa and then he becomes the Black Panther where he gets the dream sequence, and Chadwick Boseman is talking to him from pretty much the afterlife, which is kind of strange, just bizarre. What else we got? We got Andy Serkis back as Claw, which is awesome. He's great. We need more than him. That's one thing another about Black Panther is they kind of misused him in that sense. I wish he hadn't been taken out like a bitch like that. But I know it was necessary for the narrative. But Claw wanted more Claw, like how we got him in Ultron, But anyway, yeah, it was great. It was still good. I just kind of bummed out by the ending. But you're right. You're thinking back about it now. I was still waiting for Killmonger to turn and see the error of his ways, especially when Tony corners him when he finds out that he killed T'Challa and Rhodey. But at that point, I knew Tony wanted him dead, but it wasn't enough. What other thing? Oh yeah, the internet is exploding because he's at the end. By the end of the episode, he's wearing this blue and tan armor, so he kind of looks like Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z, and I could see that. Carrot cake.
Okay, I think doesn't he wear that in the movie though?
Not in the blue, not in that blue and tan. It was just
not tan, yeah.
Maybe because it was animated, it looked so much like Vegeta's armor. I just couldn't get over that. Well, it was good though. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't not my worst one, not my favorite one. But
no, this was one of my favorites, ironically.
Okay, cool.
And it looks like the next one's Thor related.
Yeah,
so we'll see.
Let's see what happens with Thor. So yeah, any other thoughts on What If, or are we going to move on to the news?
I think that's it.
Okay, good. So big news. Well, GenCon was last week. You keep in touch with anybody out there in the field?
Yes and no. I mean, people who were there said it was a light crowd.
They did limit capacity, correct?
Like, supposedly.
Yeah.
But pictures I mean, the pictures I saw, I don't know. I mean, I'm looking at a lot of the pictures that I saw, and I'm like, I mean, okay, it looks a little bit less, but like when they went to go open, like, the Great Hall, there's still, I mean, it's not as packed as it usually is, but
there's still a sea
still
of
a
people.
still a massive humanity to get into the hall the first day.
Yep.
And I'm literally looking at this going, that's not socially distanced.
No, of course not. Were there mask mandates in the building?
Yeah, there were.
Okay.
I didn't. I wasn't. I wasn't out there really looking. But I know that there are people who went to the convention who were frustrated about that you had the people who were, your anti-vax versus your vax, in terms of the talk about it, and people just being like, I just want to play games. Why can't you leave us be? And it's like, well, because honestly, in some ways, we're kind of looking at this, and I don't know. I mean, I saw some pictures. A lot of the pictures I saw were in the Great Hall. I didn't see a lot of actual gaming pictures. And the ones in the Great Hall, I'll be honest, I was kind of looking at them going, ugh. Now, the ones I saw in the gaming areas were interesting because it looked like the tables were spaced out pretty well.
Okay.
Were spaced out a little better than I expected.
In the Great Hall, you can't socially distance in the Great Hall.
Yeah, but people just didn't seem to, how I say, 6 feet bitch.
Yeah.
That just didn't seem to be a mentality.
Yeah.
But people I've talked to say, "Oh, we had a great time and things went well." And, who knows?
My Transformers deck building game got delayed. I think hopefully October, probably November. But it was supposed to be out before GenCon, and I think from what I heard, they had a few copies for sale there at the show, but. I just want, but oh well. But just because of the whole global supply chain bullshit, that they can say, I wasn't ready in time. Okay, I'll wait a couple more months. Anyways,
yeah.
But that's all I had about GenCon. I really, obviously, the last 2 days I've been busy with. Well, Friday and Saturday I was busy with my things. I wasn't able to get a whole lot of GenCon news. So, but did we get any was there news coverage or? Anything going down there? I know a couple people were there. I know of a couple people who went, but I haven't heard back from them. But
yeah, it was kind of, how do I put this? It was kind of quiet in some ways, and I just wonder if in some ways people were being quieter about certain things because
not as many celebrity guests as usual.
Well, not so much that. I mean, I just wonder how many people were being quieter in some ways about showing stuff because, they just wanted to have their convention, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, just wanted to, yeah, exactly.
And not be paying attention to some of that other stuff. Because I found that to be a theme amongst people who were, posting on Twitter about it. Literally being I just want to talk about GenCon, and I want to just show my pictures.
Yeah.
And, there were very few people who were you get the idea.
Yeah, they didn't want to get caught up in it because this has become a political issue. It's become a red versus blue. And some of them are like, "Hey, I went. Leave me alone." Yeah, I went. So I washed my hands.
I was in Indiana, Sunday.
Yeah.
And all of our tables rated, everything, all the bells and whistles of going into caution and everything, and but everybody there didn't have masks on, but we did have masks available. We did have hand sanitizer, all the things we needed to do, and I was away from everybody being at the DJ tables, so didn't have to worry about the whole socially distance thing and everything like that. But the people I were very, cognizant of that whole thing. So I'm just thinking that maybe because of this attitude towards things, maybe that's why GenCon didn't, it wasn't that situation at GenCon where there was going to be a fuss to be made. I guess maybe as well, if we make a fuss about it, then maybe this is not going to be a thing next time around. Maybe in this state, who knows? I mean, and then you could go and come up with half a dozen reasons as to why, as the way things look right now, with everything going at the side of
Yeah,
cost.
but the state doesn't give a shit about. Seriously, the state didn't care if people did or didn't wear masks.
Because that's the way Indiana is. So,
right.
And we did have people come to our, there were some people that did come that did wear their mask and that did, do what they had to do and such, and good on them.
Yeah, you're going to an 80-year-old's birthday party, so yeah, just in case, if you're not feeling well, hopefully you stayed home.
Yeah, but we all the cautionary things, and everybody was well within it. We did have some cancellations because of people not feeling the switch. That was good that done, so at least it wasn't, a total, fight to the finish about, well, mask yourself or not, I guess if some people, it just depends on the individual. In the end, it just depends on the individual. I don't know if it's a red or blue thing or it's a thing or whatever thing. I mean, everybody, everybody's got their mind and everybody's going to make up their own mind. And yeah, well, you can only hope that you do the right thing. Not everybody does that though. So that's just how it is. And,
well, like for example, I'm looking through pictures right now on Twitter, and it's funny because there's people who there was one picture of when the Great Hall was opening that looked really bad, and it's funny to see how many people then showed that hallway later in the day to be like, this is really what it really looked like, and it's like, yeah, but you're missing the point. Those other moments are the moments of promise. And I'm looking at pictures. I'm looking at pictures from the Great Hall, and I'm kind of looking at it, and I'm like, I mean, maybe if I had went, I would have avoided the Great Hall, and that would have been helpful.
Well,
you still have the private gaming rooms. You can still avoid the crowds in a lot of places.
Maybe again,
there's something if you embrace it.
Ivan, you're going in and
you're
out.
You're breaking out. You're all over the place, man.
I'm sorry. I just took the hook and I just brought it up to me. Maybe I could sound better. No,
that's sounding a little
better.
Okay
now. Yeah, they're better now.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess because I brought it up to my face and because I didn't understand the whole time. So there you go.
I'm sorry. Your point.
But yeah.
Ivan?
I'm
So
not having any luck tonight. Sorry.
It's okay. What was the point you were trying to make, Ivan?
No, I lost it. It's okay.
Okay.
So, yeah, okay. So, I don't know. What else we got? I mean...
let's see. The only other thing I got is, Tom Hardy posted a picture onto social media where he's wearing a ball cap. And the ball cap is for Spider-Man No Way Home. And the internet, the comic nerds, they got excited.
Mm-hmm.
And now seems like there may be a possibility of Venom being in No Way Home. It's possible, but how did he get? I know this is a Sony movie production.
I was going to say, I mean, it's not like
Not like he could have somebody could have visited the set. Could have just been as simple as that. Might have had just one, maybe a cameo in something. We'll see. But that happened, so we can speculate until December.
Well, I think it's interesting because it's funny because, Andrew Garfield swears up and down he's not in this movie.
Yeah.
And it's funny. I'm beginning to believe him. I'm beginning to believe, too, that Tobey Maguire may not be in this movie. That what it may just be is Tom Holland basically becoming these versions of Spider-Man.
Wearing different
traveling,
suits maybe, and yeah.
Well, not even that. Just kind of like quantum leaping into these people's bodies and then running into these villains.
Yeah, maybe.
I could be very wrong about that. I hope I am. I think the other is much more interesting, but I'd be okay with that too. It's just, like I said, I just a feeling I'm beginning to have because, I don't know. I mean, Andrew Garfield's fighting awful hard on this. I mean, why?
I don't know. Maybe
like I said,
could be misinformation. Could be just spreading, it's like a reverse psychology thing. Who knows?
Maybe.
Maybe like the opposite of what Tom Holland was doing in his film. Hopefully,
Psych.
Yeah. Let's see.
The only other thing I got is just the Movies That Made Us is making a season 3 for Netflix. The same show, the same series, the same company that did the Toys That Made Us and the Movies That Made Us, and they announced the season 3 where they'll have the the movies are RoboCop, Coming to America, Aliens, and Friday the 13th.
Okay.
Like, I'm down, so I'll watch them.
So let's see. The Hollywood Reporter is reporting that, I guess, they're going to spin off a Penguin series from the Robert Pattinson Batman movie.
Okay. I was unaware that Penguin was going to be in the sparkly vampire Batman movie.
I was not aware either.
No, he wasn't even in... Yeah, because they took Scarecrows in the trailer, right? Yeah.
I can't even recall.
We buried it.
It's been so long at this point.
And the movie's been pushed back so far again.
Yeah. So I don't know. Apparently, 33 years later, we're getting a sequel to Twins called Triplets, and Tracy Morgan is going to join Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito.
Why?
I don't know.
Tracy's funny. It could be good. I'll probably watch it.
It could be good.
If I can see it for free at home, I'll watch it.
Probably.
Well, speaking of things that aren't, that are just a little skeptical, was I saw the second rush to the Pony movie, and
the new Netflix series.
Yeah, the My Little Pony, and I saw the second the second commercial and everything, and I'm even less inclined to want to see it now.
Yeah, it's CG animation. I don't think so.
That wasn't exactly on my list.
No,
it's not even CG animation that's got me bothered.
Yeah,
what's got me bothered is it's just so totally dumbed down now. I mean, it's giggly and it's snarky.
Well, we liked how we talked about this when HBO Max's Jellystone series. He took all these beloved Hanna-Barbera characters and they're just doing fart jokes.
Well, it's not even a much of fart jokes. It's just the whole premise of it's not like they're going back to they come so far, and now it's like they're going back to 1980 again.
I don't know. It's not on. Not like I said, not high on my list.
Does that mean we're going to have Ted Knight being meanwhile?
Later at the Hall of Justice.
Meanwhile at the Hall of Justice.
Yeah, like I said, they would have made it better.
Yeah.
Afraid to say that.
Yeah. You got anything else?
My Little Pony and friends, we need your help.
That's right. Lister Trouble alert.
Desperately.
Yeah.
So I guess Vince Neil's a little upset about apparently, I don't know if you saw this, Mike, where there's a bad picture of him, and they keep posting next to it that picture of the abominable snowman.
Oh, that meme's a couple of years old of him and looks like the Bumble snow monster from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Yeah,
There is a striking similarity, though.
And Vince McNeil's like, stop sending me this shit.
Yeah. That video of his where he's singing "Kickstart My Heart," but you can't understand what he's saying, and the bad subtitles under it. It's hilarious.
Yeah. Let's see. Apparently, Brandon Fraser and Tom Welling are doing a new CW show together that'll be coming out in the next year. Bruce Campbell is doing what's called Bruce Fest in Colorado in October.
Just in time. Although, let's say that the horror...
Not October, November.
The horror subgenre of films. I mean, there was Starlog magazine, and then there was Fangoria magazine back in the 90s and late 80s. I mean, those were... There are people who are heavy into that stuff, like the same people.
Well, apparently this is all Bruce Campbell. So
it's all Bruce Campbell movies.
Spend the weekend with Bruce. Watch the entire Evil Dead series with live commentary and Q&As.
Huh.
Groovy cocktail hour. Gruesome murder mystery party catered by Chef Benito. I don't know who that is. Come get some Evil Dead photo experience. Ghostly scavenger hunt for relics from the films, horror movie prop exhibit, continuous showings of your favorite Bruce films. I wonder if Burn Notice would be included in that. Does the original Spider-Man get included in that too?
Yeah, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man. Well, there's a cameo though. I don't know if it's going to be.
Or how about like Hercules: The Legendary Journeys? Do we get any?
Yeah, that's right. He was on the Kevin Sorbo Hercules. Yeah.
And Xena.
Yeah.
And Xena, too. So apparently there's a Bruce convention for just Bruce. Yeah. For Bruce
okay.
Campbell stuff.
You go, Bruce.
Napa Winery launches a bubbly new rosé in a penis-shaped bottle.
What?
You heard me. Pierce Bronson apparently is in Black Adam, and he's hyping up...
Who's he going to be?
I don't know, but apparently... I think he's Dr. Fate.
Oh, that would make sense.
And he's hyping up about the Justice Society in it. Andrew Yang is calling... he's calling
out the WWE, man.
Yeah, apparently he had a conversation with the Department of Labor, and in fairness, he should. That's... that gets ridiculous. I'm trying to see if there's anything else of note. We had Batman Day. Apparently, the ex-wife, who was apparently an editor on the original Star Wars films of Lucas, is making comments about shit.
Talking trash about Kathleen Kennedy and J.J. Abrams.
Well, my favorite is she's bitching about Han Solo, and it's like, did you miss the part where Harrison Ford literally said that that was the only way he was going to do another movie was basically if Han Solo was killed? Did you miss that part?
Were you bummed out that Han Solo died in The Last Jedi, or in Force Awakens? Did you think it was a good way for him to go? No. But I think it was the way he went. It was a great emotional beat for me, but I'm not bummed out because there'll be no more Han Solo adventures from Harrison Ford.
Well, I was, except for the fact that, if Harrison Ford doesn't want to do it,
we're lucky he came back for this one role.
Right, exactly.
Even just to die
the irony is,
but he went out.
Well, the irony is he comes back in Rise of Skywalker again.
Well, it was a goofy flashback or whatever. He was there for like 30 seconds.
But hey, I'll take it. Not to mention that they tried to do that Solo movie. It was a solid movie, Unfortunately, there was a lot of weird backlash, and people claimed they didn't want to see it, and so unfortunately, we should have gotten more.
That came after The Last Jedi, didn't it?
Right.
And so it kind of got some boycotts from some of the purists or whatever.
Well, and the other thing is they tried to release it in between the two movies in the spring, and it was a bad release.
Same week as Endgame, or same month, or same. Yeah, it was close to Endgame's and Deadpool too. Yeah.
Deadpool was right on top of it
Deadpool too. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
So it was crowded summer in that theaters.
Yeah, and something was going to have to. Something was going to have to give. Somebody wasn't going to get the numbers that they were expecting, and unfortunately, that was
Yeah. So getting back to this letter that this was George Lucas's ex-wife.
Who apparently was a producer.
Okay.
So
she stayed on. Interesting.
And apparently, here's the trick. Of course, she's got a book coming out, which is why this is all getting talked about.
This is why it's getting publicized. It's getting hype because this leaked about because a lot of Star Wars fans have been predicting that Kathleen Kennedy is going to get fired. They've been saying that for 3 years now.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So I keep laughing when they keep saying it out loud because it's like if it was going to happen, it would have happened by now.
Yeah.
It would have already happened. I'm trying to think of anything else. Apparently, they're rebooting The Lost Boys.
Why?
That's a cult classic. I don't know if they could duplicate that.
I don't know. I mean,
how many times have we done this in the movies where we try to either equate, or make it equally as good, or try to surpass it in good? I mean, we just leave Fallen Up alone.
Because the truth is that they're probably looking at the IP and sitting there going, "How can we use this IP?"
Yeah.
But the thing is, don't you think that Hollywood already has recycled so many ideas to the point of ad nauseum? They've run out of ideas.
No, but here's the thing. I mean, you've got an IP that still has a buzz that people are still somewhat, when you say it, people are somewhat interested in. So their reaction is, let's see if we can do something with it.
Well, why can't they new with it?
Right, that's what they're doing.
But
they're probably taking it in a new direction.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm hoping. It's kind of a shame to spend $10, $15 on the same old shit, just redone again.
Well, it's probably not going to be the exact same shit, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, it was funny. I was just saying to a family member of mine, because with the fact that the holiday was for Yom Kippur, I mean, it's funny. It's been 40 years since The Jazz Singer came out. I'm surprised that Hollywood has not looked at rebooting that.
Yeah, they remade A Star Is Born, so who's to say they wouldn't have to be able to remake that? Oh, we did get another trailer for West Side Story.
Did we really? I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's out there.
Because at the Jazz Singer with Neil Diamond is a reboot of the original by Al.
Yeah, I know, by Al Jolson, but the point, well, there's some problems with the Al Jolson one too, but we won't get into that.
Okay. There's all right. I mean, aside from the many premises that surrounds that movie, not to go into it any deeper than it needs to be, but as far as and the Neil Diamond story for what it is, they watered down a lot of the original sensibilities of the original, Al Jolson Jazz Singer movie, but and if
and in fairness, they only, the black, as it is, it's funny, there's that blackface moment at the beginning of the Neil Diamond version, but I know there's more of that in the Al Jolson version.
Actually, having I own the movie, and having watched it a number of times, and the whole blackface sensibility that happened that that motion picture doesn't happen throughout the entire movie. And okay, and I am not, I'm not saying that that's, I mean, yeah, that's a totally offensive stereotype. It's a totally offensive sensibility. It's a totally offensive thing. But then you also have to remember, here we go back to it's a product of its time, and even then, for much of it, rather or not they did it to spite the black race or to try to make light of it back when that was going on with white entertainers using blackface or using cork as they call it. And I guess in these entertainers' minds, they thought maybe they were trying to, say, well, hey, yeah, it's a black song, or, I mean, it goes by the name, we use that, black song, so we figure, okay, why can't we dress up as, instead, we don't have a black person sing it, we'll dress ourselves up as a black person and sing it. But the only thing they went about it was because it was the grotesque sensibility of why that was. It's just like what happened with a motion picture called Soul Man, where, they did that in the 80s. Now, would that be right today?
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's, again, the point being is, yeah, I don't know if we'll ever. I'm just surprised that no one's considered, whether it be Broadway or Hollywood, considered looking at the jazz singer, given, especially you're talking about Neil Diamond songs at this point. You could easily do this as a Broadway thing and not have to totally reinvent it.
Well, yeah, you could do it as a Broadway thing. Of course you could do it as a Broadway thing. In fact, I think it's been done as a Broadway thing. But
not that I'm aware of.
But at the same time, in Neil Diamond's version, yeah, definitely, way much more acceptable sensibility about it. Now, yeah, you know what? But it would also depend on, how many people are still privy to its original origins, which that, may play a part into that, but.
Well, but that's exactly why at this point you could play with it more, because it has been that long. It's been long enough where you've got entire generations who probably don't even know it exists. Although it's funny because you certainly have millennials who know who Neil Diamond is. So go figure.
You got a lot of people, that and then of course, like me, who like the deeper white movie sensibilities and everything that's out there. I know there's more of us out there that, who are into the black and white motion picture sensibility and who are privy to that. And I'm sure, they probably, had their fair share of things to say, when Neil Diamond came out with the Jazz Singer. I did it. I thought it was a great movie. I thought they did well by it. The music was fabulous and everything. And me knowing the original origins of the movie, and they did right by it for its time and its place. And I'm sure that the acceptability of that would probably be a whole lot more so than anything else. Now, would you bring such a movie up to today's standards? Would you change? Would you modernize the songs? Would you kind of loosely work something else around the storyline?
I don't know. I didn't get that far.
Yeah. It's a think about.
I didn't get that far. Quite frankly, I was just sitting here going, okay, who would I cast? And there's a couple directions you could go with it, but.
Yeah, so it's that. Yeah, so see, it's that type of thing because it's that type of a story, and I personally just like, Hispanics in motion pictures have either been made into Latin lovers, Andros or banditos, and the Bronx cinema, I like to refer to it as, is in a lot of ways met up with the same type of, just nobody really paying it any mind to it. Yeah, they touch upon it and everything about these types of motion pictures, but would there ever be a representative of Hispanic films, that actually, make us look like real people, just your average Joe, just like your regular guy, without having to be either a comedy or some kind of thug movie, So you got.
Isn't that pretty much anything with Jimmy Smits?
No, Jimmy Smits was Bail Organa. He was legit, man.
Well, that's what I mean. I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, say this is like the alternative is anything pretty much with Jimmy Smits.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, but that's that's a singular example, a singular good example of that, that. But I just think, in many ways it could be more. And
Sure.
And it's just, and so it's just like, and then of course, the jazz singer, yeah, it's a movie. It was about a Jewish man, deciding whether he wanted to be an entertainer or if he wanted to follow his faith, and I think more Jewish movies that, a whole lot centered than just what's been served up over these so many years, in the film industry, because there's stories in every race, there's stories in every creed, there's stories in every, sensibility of it, and you would think that, motion pictures, television, the media and of itself would, instead of having to rehash all these other things, why don't they just go ahead and just expand and see what other possibilities, not only in just stories and everything, but in characters and without it becoming a niche thing, because I know that a lot of these movies, they're having to deal with anything other thereof than the norm is niche. And you're like, why is that?
Because that's what people are. Because because right now that's what people are. Because really in reality you're playing to certain niches at this point. You're not necessarily looking to go mainstream. If your stuff goes mainstream, that's great. But the truth is that you have a specific niche, and that's what your aim is, and that's where your objectives are. That's not to say that if the other stuff doesn't happen, that's not acceptable, or oh my God, that's horrible. It's just this is where we're targeting. These are the things we're targeting, the people we're targeting, or the audiences we're targeting based on that. You're trying to do that in such a way to be successful.
And I'm gonna, I want a Jewish superhero. I want a Puerto Rican Jewish hero. I want a Jewish policeman. I want a Jewish fireman. I want a Puerto Rican. I want a Puerto Rican business person. There's so many more ideas out that could be gathered up and put into that context, but the people are, it doesn't seem like the drive towards it has happened. Not
yet, but representation is becoming more and more broad. So I think you're just going to have to wait.
Yes, and you know what?
It's getting better, Ivan.
It's getting. Maybe it's just me. It's not happening fast enough. But again, and
that goes back to the conversation we started earlier about the Emmys thing, where there are a lot of people right now not happy about the fact that
there was representation in the nominees, but not in the winners.
But not in the winners.
Exactly. See, and that bothers me a great deal, because I think the same people that have been in those 100 seats for decades and everything, I think if we're going to get diversity in any type of media, there needs to be diversity in the upper echelons of management, people, judges, people that they give the prizes out for these things. I think there needs to be more happening up there than just the stuff that's been there almost forever, and that's always been something that's perplexed me a great deal. because you can't change the car's color until you paint it. So, and that's putting the action front and center. So that's just my thought on that. I mean, I guess maybe I'm expecting too much. I don't know, but you know what? It would really be nice to go to a movie and have my people represented in a way that makes you want to walk proud of it, and not just a sidetrack of buffoonery or slapstick or whatever. Oh yeah, it's we get a white person to go ahead and do that, it'll be funny. But if we get a Puerto Rican or a Jewish person to do that, it'll really be funny. We can go ahead and follow that, and you get to start thinking about that a little bit. And I'm sure my sensibilities have been echoed through other races. I mean, I could go on about the whole black movie experiences, which has been, unfortunately, its nature has been from decades under the subpar thing. Black motion picture studio, who ended up having to make motion pictures with secondhand cameras, substandard equipment, and everything back in the 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s.
Well, those days are gone, Ivan. Trust me.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to see that they're going, and I'm happy to see they've been gone and everything. But I think, in order to understand that future, we need to have an understanding of how far we've actually come. When you got, you want to go ahead and you want to entertain. Yeah, we all try to entertain the masses entirely. But but I'm just thinking, how much of it is biased amongst the people who create the content, within that thing, within the motion pictures or television or music or any of all that, So, I mean, here it is. I'm 61. Okay, I mean, I've seen a lot of things, since I was a kid. I mean, when you watch the Vietnam War on television, when you watch the Democratic Convention in Chicago in '68, and you're scared to go to bed, when you look for your heroes and don't find your own sensibility within those heroes, just kind of makes you wonder a little bit, And I know that they do more now than they used to. I mean, yeah, I've seen a Puerto Rican superhero. In fact, there's a gentleman who is drawing, a woman that's kind of similar to Wonder Woman, but instead of the red, white, and blue of America, she's wearing the red, white, and blue of Puerto Rico, which is the same colors. I mean, it's we are citizens after all. I like to see some more of that, just like I would like to see, I like to see Jewish people represented, not just as, every other sensibility put at the time, be they, even lawyers and shysters, all the negative connotations that have been hoisted on them, which is a shame. It's a shame.
Well, like I said, just representation matters, and it's happening. So you just have to wait a little bit longer. That's all.
Well, it's not necessarily you have to wait longer. It's just a matter of certainly the nominee list this year for the Emmys was more diverse than it's ever been.
Which is
but again, here begs the question, which is sometimes it's still that may create a narrative that really isn't there at the moment. But again, what was it going to take? What was it going to take for everybody to be happy? How many of the Emmy nominees had to win, who were of a minority nature, had to win a trophy that night? How many? 1, 2, 3? All of them?
And at least I guess maybe I'm just looking for a more level playing field in some respect. Maybe that's what I'm looking for, But I just it's just, like I said, these are the things I sit here and I ponder every now and again, because here I am, I'm a disc jockey. I'm a Puerto Rican disc jockey. I'm a Puerto Rican disc jockey with a whole lot of records. I go out there and I play for all kinds of people. And I play all kinds of music for all kinds of people. And I figure if I can mix my music, if I can mix my record play to all kinds of people, why can't the people up in Hollywood and television and everything like that do the same thing?
It's a good question. Good question. Hopefully, maybe it'll get answered someday.
The only other thing of note this week, so Doom Patrol starts again on the 23rd.
Oh, it's next season? Oh, good. That's coming out.
Season 3 starts. The first 3 episodes drop on the 23rd. There are some, it's funny. There are some network shows that are starting this week. I'm trying to record some of the newer ones to see what is or isn't interesting. So I'll probably be able to talk a little bit more about it next week. But we'll see. Like I said, we're starting to get back into fall preview season. So we're going to start to
first
see.
Day of fall is Wednesday. Jeez.
We're going to start seeing new network shows.
And then my favorite season, fall, comes. Yes.
Fall TV season.
I love fall. I love fall.
Yeah, me too.
Season. I love fall. For so many reasons. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel good. I love the fall. I love the fall. As I find as I get older, the fall becomes even more. But winter, I take it, I could leave. Yeah, the fall. Everybody's got their time. Fall is my time. Summer is be good, but I just can't seem to deal with the heat much anymore, like I used to. And I still like spring. So spring and fall.
Okay.
Yeah. But looking forward to that, and looking forward to the fall preview, and looking to the new shows, and looking forward to the new music, and looking forward to kids in costumes for Halloween. Looking to go out with Soraya in costume, which that's going to be fun. Yes, as you said before, Jeff. Yes, a man lost in a woman's body. That's going to be funny.
You're still doing. Soraya's still. Well, I guess it depends on what you're doing.
Let's go to a Halloween party.
Oh, Soraya, we go to the bars now. We don't trick or treat anymore. But we go to the bars now. Yes, 22. But she brought up that the other day we were doing our thing on Sunday, and she said, "Well, that's a great idea. It's nice. It's nice that that my daughter still wants to do things with her old man. It's a sweet thing. So the fact that she thinks her old man, and I like that."
Okay, so I think we can wrap it up. We've run a little long this week, and had a little technical issue at the beginning. So Ivan, are you spinning this week on Twitch or Facebook Live? You plan on any events?
Okay, well, what I got going on right now is this week is probably just gonna be a mellow week. I might do a Rivera Random Records tomorrow, and
tomorrow was yesterday.
Well, yeah. Well, what I mean is, probably on Wednesday.
Okay.
I'll probably do a little something, for Rivera's Random Records. I'm also going to start music on my Jive Tribe page, which now that I'm no longer associated with anybody, which has really been a weight off the shoulders.
Yeah, we talked about that last week, and in detail as we talked personally about the drama from the spinning wheel. You still use Twitch? You still twitching?
Yes, I still use Twitch. Okay. I don't use it as I used to, but I still use it.
Okay.
And I'm still kind of tapping the idea about doing the Clubhouse, which
Yeah.
I would like to go on that on our platform and maybe run a couple of hours and see how she goes. So yeah, I'll definitely go through Dynamite.
All right. And you're on twitch.tv at Java and Ivan.
That's right.
Jive and Ivan with lots of A's. Jeff, you doing anything this week?
The only thing I've got going on this week is Sunday Night Stories in the Talk Club this Sunday night, and 4 more storytellers, and trying to think if there's. I don't think I've got anything else really booked out for this week. So, that's kind of what I got going on at the moment, and
I'd like to come on, Jeff.
No, it's if you want to come tell a story, you just gotta sign up.
I will come over and I will sign up because I got a few stories for you.
Okay.
Well, you only get one for 7 to 10 minutes.
Time it out. Plan it.
Ivan. Don't make me go get the egg.
You're over time. You're over limit. You go down the trapdoor. You're done.
Okay, I have a stopwatch right here in my hands. Okay. So guess what? If I could feature the story of Ivy as an exclusive to Clubhouse, which is my next comic assignment, which I'm going to start in October.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. So I guess that'll do. We're on Instagram and Twitter at SOTRT Podcast. We're on YouTube. Click the bell, subscribe. You get new content. You can download the show on usual podcast hosting platforms. iTunes, Google, Spotify, anchor.fm/SOTRT. We're on Facebook, and that's where we have our memes and articles and just funny stuff. And Jeff is out there at Dynamite Productions.
Dynamite!
Not J.J. Walker. It's
Dynamite.
Right. Ivan is on twitch.tv at Java and Ivan.
Twitch.
Email us at sotrtpodcast@gmail.com. That'll do. Episode 165.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us here at the Squares of the Round Table podcast. Of course, I guess I can speak on behalf of my best friends, Mike and Jeff. We appreciate you being here with us each and every time. We'll catch up with you next week. More hilarity, more fun, more information. More stuff than you can fill with, and of course, it's been a pleasure serving each and every one of you.